Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for, for these kind words. Well, no more people on video, so I will offer my gratitude. There are always challenges that we curse upon, situations that we don't want to get in, but they are learning curves. And those are the kind of learning curves that I've had in the past 1 week, which have made me realize how strong I am and what my capabilities are. So when you have a challenge, don't think it as a challenge where you might fail, you might be let down, but they surely become something better for you in the long run. They teach you, they make you stronger. And as it said, that something that doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So it has made me stronger, and I'm grateful for those situations. So with this, I end the gratitude corner and I hand over the baton to Mr. Gaurav to do the introduction. Over to you, Gaurav.
Thank you, Anupama. Great that we have a bit of time on our hands. We are, of course, in our, what do you say? Well, we are here together and we have some time on our hands. So I'll just do a brief introduction on the times we are in before I introduce the platform to those who are joining us for the first time and for those who are regular visitors even, just to refresh their memories to the purpose that we are together. Of course, we are very sad, at least in South Asia, and as human beings, about this incident that happened in a tourist place in Kashmir just 3 days back. Uh, Terrorism is a curse and a scourge, and we need to be aware that there are things that need to be looked at so that we can make the world a better place. And we pray for the souls of the people who lost their lives and for the families they leave behind, because these are some trying times for them. Well, we are entrepreneurs and we are in a global village. So today I'm so happy that we have people joining us from as far as Sydney and Edinburgh. Lipika's woken up just before 5 o'clock in the morning to join us. So thank you, Lipika. And Marta has sacrificed her lunch, I guess, to be with us. So she'll probably have a dinner later, mixing her lunch with dinner. Okay, let me now share with you about the Global Entrepreneur Network. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are the Global Entrepreneur Network, your gateway to global business. This is a section that usually my friend Bharat takes. He is out right now. So basically, we have a LinkedIn page. If you have your phone with you, just click there and put your note on our LinkedIn page. You can see the QR code there, and it'll be a good exercise if you take, say, 30 seconds to do this. So we had the gratitude corner. Whatever you shared in the gratitude corner, you can share on our LinkedIn page through using the QR code. I'll give you 10 more seconds for that. Well, we move on. This is about us. We have over 1,500 members who join our meetings. We do this every Saturday morning in Dubai at 8 o'clock and similar times across the world. We've impacted hundreds of entrepreneurs who have joined our meetings over the last nearly 5 years now. And we have speakers from all over the world, like Marta today, who share about their life journeys and give us food for thought. Our purpose is to connect entrepreneurs worldwide to enable business growth through an exchange of referrals and collaboration, accessing the global markets. Our vision is to expand this community to 5,000 members in the next 2 years and to 10,000 in the next 5. Our mission is to help our community expand our global reach through online networking and collaboration. Our values, collaboration speaks of the importance of partnerships, teamwork, and community. Knowledge sharing reinforces the openness, learning, and exchange of insights. Sustainability embeds environmental responsibility and a long-term perspective, because the way the world is today, we need to look at sustainability in a very serious manner. Agility highlights the ability to be flexible, adaptable, and responsive in a dynamic entrepreneurial context. And Mr. Trump is preparing us for agility, given the tariffs that are looming over our heads. Innovation points to the network's role in driving new ideas, products, and approaches. So this is how we will roll. We are at 8:16 now. Shortly, our speaker will be doing her session, and we'll probably end the session by 8:50, when Alifia will take us through the business session proper, and we'll close at 9:30 Dubai time. This is our team. Alifia and I are co-founders. We have a third co-founder, who's Anil Thomas. This is our team: Sabri Rajan, Anupama Parker, Bharat Nangia, Chaitanya Bailey. In the past, we've been contributed to by Dr. Rajamani, the late Laurent Grandissot, and Harihar Sharma. So on that note, thank you for being here with us. We have this LinkedIn page that I mentioned earlier. You can use the QR code here, and be part of this group that we have. We have lots of conversations going there, and it gives you updates from time to time. Well, so now it's time for me to introduce our speaker, and I shall read about our speaker. Our speaker is a US person by birth and a career expat by choice. She has lived in many major international media and government centers across the APAC region, EMEA, and the US. In 2025, she was recognized as one of the world's 50 most influential businesswomen, making a difference for her impact on more than 100 communities, from Mannequin Peas to the Merloin. Other accolades include Asia's most admired marketing leaders and Asia's women leaders for her contribution to the region since 2004. This includes being a founding board member of the Singapore chapter of Junior Achievement, which is JA, popularly known as JA, the world's largest organization dedicated to educating students in workforce readiness, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. I have known Marta for over a year, and I know she is a great person to be with. She's currently joining us from Sydney, and she will now lead this discussion on digital transformation. Where do you stand? Marta, over to you.
Thank you for that amazing introduction, Gaurav. We didn't go through logistics before. Are you able to share the presentation that I sent you, or do you need me to do that?
You could, if you like. That
Martha, you can share too. We've made you co-host already. You should be able to share as well.
Okay, hold on a moment here. What is the easiest way for, oh, here it is. There's the share. Okay. Here we go. Oops, this one. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, hold on a moment. I will make it alive. Perfect. Everybody good? Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Hold on a second. I'm just saying allow.
We
Okay,
encourage
so
everyone to get your videos on. Let's all participate and engage with Martha. It's nice to see people. So encourage everyone. Let's have our videos on.
It's really
Okay,
beautiful.
over to you,
Thank you for that. And it's nice to see all your beautiful faces. So as Gaurav said, I am American by birth, and thank you for not holding that against me in the current context.
Sorry to
But
interrupt you, Martha.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
to interrupt you. You have got a presentation mode on. If you could put it in a slide presentation, master presentation, we would be better.
You're seeing my thing. It's flipped on my thing. I have a big screen, but it's coming the other way around. Hold on a second here.
Yeah.
Use slideshow. Is that better?
Yeah,
That's
good.
fine.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Of course, in a conversation about digital transformation, you have to have a few glitches, particularly when you're trying to pretend that you're an expert in it as well. So as Gaurav said, I have I'm very, very blessed to have a truly global perspective on this issue, but I also have a unique perspective. In addition to, calling myself a career expat, I'm also a self-described digerati. And what I mean by that is I've been on these beautiful devices since the late 90s. Now I'm starting to date myself. But I was one of the founding members of America Online. How many of you are familiar with America Online? Have you heard of AOL? Yeah, it'll speak volumes if you can remember those days. But we were one of the very, very first companies to create a lot of the platforms and services and concepts that we are now so familiar with, and it's part of our day-to-day life. And I think later it would be interesting to maybe talk a little bit about to what degree what's happening now was really what the vision actually was and the intention. But my last job before I left America Online in Washington, D.C. in 2002 was I was the head of product marketing communications. And I was overseeing our AOL Anywhere strategy, which had a vision of letting people, do anything that they wanted to do anywhere, anytime that they wanted to do it. And I would go around the world and tell people, hey, imagine a world where you can watch a movie on your phone. And you can only imagine the looks that I got at that point in time. Literally, people did not understand what I was talking about. So it's really in the course of my career that everything that we've been doing, we've seen that massive velocity with which digital has transformed our lives. And I think that that's one way of thinking about digital transformation when I personally think about it. The other thing, like I said before, is that I've had a global platform and experience, but also have been in Asia Pacific, primarily living in Singapore, Hong Kong, Bali, and in and out of Australia, having global and regional roles, as well as my own company from 2008 until 2018. So Asia and the transformation that I have seen in this region has been part of the digital story for me as well. And they've been on the leading edge of a lot of the digital transformation that's happened in the world when you look at even elections being run digitally in places like Korea well before it was happening in other places. I think Asia has been a really amazing place to kind of see how digital's taken off to the next level. I personally am known for what I call on-brand operations. I created this slide during 2020, just kind of, thinking about what it is that I've done in every aspect of my career, whether it was on the corporate side or in my own consultancies. And I like to call the periods that we've been in through the last few years as creative chaos and a lot of crises. And then I've helped a lot of organizations of all sizes create their communications and corporate agenda, and then create a conscious operating model and culture shift. And I think the gratitude exercise that we did in the beginning, again, speaks to what I think the world is moving towards. And I also believe, I know Klaus had mentioned this earlier, that there's no point in looking at the bottom line as only being cash. And shareholders, I think that really working with organizations who believed in creating lasting value for everyone is what I've been kind of playing in. Some of the technology companies digital media and technology companies that I've been involved in are here on this slide. I know that in LinkedIn, people really got excited about my role at YTL. And I'll talk about that. They were one of my clients when I started my company in 2008. They then launched the first 4G WiMAX nationwide network in Malaysia in 1 year. And they hired me to help do the launch event, do their foundational communications program around that, as well as the publicity. So later on, I'd love to talk more about how that happened and any of the other brands that you see here. I've also done a lot of work in financial services, again, in transformation leadership roles. During 2020, I completely remotely led corporate affairs globally for KBZ Bank, which is the largest bank in Myanmar. It's a family-owned bank, and they were doing digital transformation from the inside out in terms of changing how they were operating, but then with a mission to bring financial inclusion to the people across Myanmar. Their operating guiding principle was Meta. They wanted to be known as the bank with Meta. So I think for me, one of the things I'm very passionate about is transformation in terms of thought as much as technology. Some of the other professional services firms I've worked with, working with C-suite around the world, and then also on the luxury lifestyle aspect. Most recently, I was in travel and hospitality with Wyndham Destinations, launching a new travel and leisure club across Asia. So I look forward to telling you more about all of that as we go along. And where I stand on digital transformation, I think is where I thought would be a fun place to start. First of all, I think we all think about transformation and we talk about it, but I love getting into definitions of things. And so, transformation itself is really just creating a very distinctive change. I think what I'm more interested in is evolution. And I think that, this kind of speaks to a lot of what Klaus was mentioning before as well, is really a process of continuous change from a lower, simpler type of way of operating or being to a higher state. And I think right now, more than ever, the world could benefit from true advancement and people thinking about transformation in terms of how we are actually going to have a global unity kind of a movement with some peaceful social, political, and economic advancements for all. So that's my own personal view, and we can debate that later. But I think, when we think about digital transformation, for it really to be transformative, it's less about digital transformation and more about integration, I think, first of all, in organizations of any size. But I came up with this little mantra a few years ago when I was speaking at a chief data officer's event in Singapore. I think that true digital transformation must help you to express what you stand for and what makes you stand out. That's basically your brand, your values, and your value add. Empower your employees, as well as everyone that you serve. Engage consistently at every touch point. So there's no point in having, digital transformation. How many of you have gone to a website and you have one impression or one experience, but then you meet the people in the store and it's a very different thing. So I think that engagement piece consistently is where digital, when it's most elegant, comes in. And then, like I just said, I think ideally you want to be thinking about digital transformation in terms of how does this help us evolve? Whether it's our relationship with our employees, ourselves, each other, our customers, the industry at large, or the world. So in the example of YTL, for instance, we actually pulled that off. They made the bold proclamation that they were going to roll out this first ever nationwide network in 1 year, and they did it. They invited me back the next year to go to the launch event, but they did it in collaboration with what usually would be known as competitors. So they worked with, clear partners like Clearwire, Samsung, and some others, but they also invited in, co-creators from their competitive landscape. And that was one of the ways that they were able to kind of leapfrog the environment and move faster. So we'll share these slides as well for people who are interested in, but some of the guiding questions that I always ask myself, as well as any company that I'm working with or mentees that I am mentoring, is what are you trying to transform and why? So the simple way of explaining this is I don't think digital transformation should be the goal. And many, many, many times that's how people are thinking about it. Well, we need digital transformation. And that may or may not be true. And I'll give you a very clear example after this slide, but I'd love to debate it further and get your points of view on that. And again, then ask yourself, how does this digital aspect or this tool or whatever it is, this technology, how does it help us really stand out? And is it in alignment with what we stand for as a company? What other opportunities or solutions do we have that can transcend even beyond this? You know, is this little application maybe too specific or too narrow? Who else needs to be involved? So whether that's an internal conversation about, okay, is it the tech team driving this innovation? Is the comms team involved? Legal? What other companies, what other partners need to be involved? I think that will always help get you a better solution, whatever you're trying to achieve. One of the biggest mistakes that I've seen companies of all sizes make is, and it's kind of funny, they have global transformation initiatives, but they don't go out and speak to their colleagues in other markets. And so that's, to me, usually step number one. How do you bring everyone together so that the people in London understand what's happening in Dubai, they understand what's happening in India, and they don't just go jumping too far ahead without really understanding what else might already exist in the organization or what the people on the ground really need. What other questions do we need to ask? And I would love to hear from you as we have the conversation. What are the questions that I haven't asked that we should? Is this digital transformation empowering? Is it essential? Is it ethical? I think that question is becoming more and more prevalent, and is now really the time. So this was one of the questions that had come in on LinkedIn yesterday, and I was very grateful for this because it gave me kind of a segue in the short time that I have. But basically, it's making the stance that digital transformation is shaping the future of business, and that leveraging data analytics specifically and AI for better decision-making is crucial. So that's 2 points. And then the question is, how can organizations balance innovation with maintaining operational stability? So the next few slides, I give some points of view on this. So the first thing, like I said before, I really firmly believe that unless you have a very clear business case for why digital, then you may or may not need to jump on the bandwagon. So my friend here who I'm staying with, when I was telling her about my presentation, she said, oh, a great example from modern day life would be Airbnb, where Brian Chesky actually has been in this podcast. He talks about when they started the company, they were very, very slow to try to digitally transform anything. They were very committed to having human relationships with people, number one. Number two, they were using old school data spreadsheets or whatever tools they already had to see what they really needed before they then took it to the next level and said, okay, wait a second. Now that we're at this phase of our business, we can't keep scaling by doing what we're doing in Excel spreadsheets. We need a new solution. So I think that this is a beautiful example because Airbnb itself has transformed a certain aspect of, real estate, lifestyle, all of that, right? So we can all agree that it was a transformer in its own right, for better or worse. That can be debated as well. But digital, even though they're known as this digital kind of a company, it wasn't their first priority. On AI, just a word about AI, I asked ChatGPT, hey, AI, tell me what people are doing with AI right now, mostly. And I think that, again, you'll have these slides, but for me, and in the examples that I showed in terms of all the different industries and the companies of all sizes that I've worked with, the AI adoption is being really done in ways that are not having the outcome that companies maybe intended to. I think specifically, again, if it's something that has a human element like customer service, HR, talent acquisition, you really do need that high touch still much more. And I wouldn't be so quick to maybe jump on that bandwagon. I think cybersecurity, ironically, is probably one of the areas where AI is got a really good, use case. I also want to make the point that AI itself, the mass AI, like ChatGPT and whatever, to me, that's not the most fundamentally transformative AI. AI itself has been around for well over 30 years. And there's some very deep, kinds of applications that very few people in the world actually really are equipped and understand how to use. But there are actually tools and ways that AI can be used to go, for instance, and look at a grid in India and say, okay, how do we now take this segment of the population and clean up the pollution? How do we go to the oceans and where is the wildlife most at risk? So there's some very deep, profound applications of AI that I think are much more interesting in terms of that evolution piece than ChatGPT. That's my own, again, personal view. And I'm not saying any of these things is wrong. I'm just saying that the rush to AI can become quite a distraction as well. And the application and the rollout of a lot of these things may be backfiring. McKinsey has for many years, I think since 2018, every few years they come up with a different way of saying this, that, digital transformation, like I said up front, is one thing, but if you're looking at real business transformation, that's a different thing. And that still is usually the majority run by and relies on human. So going back to the question that I received on LinkedIn, how do you balance the new with the next? I think some of the things that I've seen work well have been companies that have dedicated in-house incubators and foster a culture of entrepreneurship. Now, I know many of you are entrepreneurs, so you already have that spirit of entrepreneurship, but I think not getting distracted by today's new idea is one way to really help yourself say, okay, wait a second, who do I need on my team that really is looking at that future forward kind of vision? I'm a 3-year girl, so I tend to be hired for people who need the next 3 years. And I help them shape that vision and then say, okay, if this is where we're going in 3 years, what can we do today to step into that now? So making sure you have a very clear kind of roadmap is very important. And then I think in the markets that we operate in, India is a beautiful place where I've done some incredible work on iterative pilot projects. But founded on those core values and principles, and in creating little centers of excellence that then drive innovation and transformation, but they don't distract from the business right now. I think cross-functional and cross-geography teams, obviously, with clear governance are important, and then future-focused kind of measurements with real-time feedback loops. This was a slide that I used in the data conversation specifically, and this goes to the question about data. So I made up my own acronyms here, that the 3 different scenarios that I've seen in organizations is that they use data to account for, like, to justify their existence. We're the marketing team. We put out 20, press releases and 5 campaigns, and 1,000 people signed up and 10 said no. It's kind of like proving that they have value by using data. The problem there that I see is inside organizations, a lot of times there's multiple data streams that don't have oversight across the top of it. So you have multiple agencies. And I've seen agencies come, like whether it's TBWA or an independent consultant will come and say, hey, we did this campaign and we measured it this way. So you've got that one set of data, but then you have somebody else who looked at it through their lens and you have that set of data, but it still requires someone with critical thinking to say, hey, wait a second, were we measuring the right thing and where did it lead us, right? I also see on the decision-making part of the question that many people use data to avoid making a decision. They say we need more data to make a decision, but it's really a way of kind of trying to protect themselves from making the wrong decision. I think on my closing slide, I'll share with you that in my point of view, and at this certain age and stage of life, you can't make a perfect decision usually. And I think death by data is something that is happening more and more, and particularly in a fear-driven environment that we see globally right now. People are freezing, people are fearful, and that's the point where maybe they use data to kind of avoid being responsible for a corporate decision. So again, I like to say, okay, how can we use this data? Is it helping us advance? Right? So always ask the better question, the higher question, and see where it takes us farther. And again, I won't go too deep into here because I know I'm probably close to time now, but here's the 6 kind of very common scenarios across every industry, different, from whether startups, B-series startups, or multinational organization. When it comes to data, I think, using customers and employees as data points instead of using them as a source of real conversation and real information, and really focusing on the experience and the relationship you're having with them is something that I would advise against, I guess is the best way to say it. The other thing, like I said before, is there might be an over data obsession, but they then aren't trickling it down throughout the business in a way that's efficient. Sometimes there can be incomplete third-party solutions or implementation, like I said before, too much data, different people, no one looking at it. And that's where I go to that literal low-level interpretation of data analysis. And sometimes you have very new people to the business, very new people to the industry, who are then taking the data very literally without the bigger picture context of either the company's kind of, or operational history or the landscape at large. And again, confirmation bias, as we know, is something that is great. And not to mention, I think I've seen a lot of data platforms and digital platforms being used to micromanage each other. So like even a tool like Asana that's supposed to make project management easier, it ends up, in the wrong hands. You've got 50 people reminding you to do one task, and then you have to like log into Asana, go into Asana, tell them your update. It's taking you away from doing the task. And I see that a lot. So again, digital platforms in particular, really making sure that they're empowering and not just a distraction. Obviously, we see this also with communications tools. Slack, I love actually. They've really done a good job of trying to provide a one-stop shop for bringing people together across different geographies on different projects. But it doesn't stop people from then also pinging you on WhatsApp or calling you or sending you 10 emails. I think the way every single person who uses digital now, that's one aspect that needs to be, I think, streamlined in companies. And if you're running your own organization and serving clients, you can find yourself on Teams meetings 1 minute, Zoom the next. You know how it goes. So in summary, I think, I always like to say, like, are we shticking ourselves? What are we buying about all of this, that we should just kind of pay attention to, and always just take a deep breath, take a deep breath and just kind of say, hey, what are we doing here? So my summary is that digital transformation, from my point of view, is not the goal. It's an enabler for hopefully true evolution on a big picture scale. And I think the best use is like the YTL example, where you're leapfrogging for a better future and you're doing it in collaboration with other people and other organizations. Don't let digital become a distraction to your core differentiators, and that's your values and your value prop. Have dedicated teams dedicated to innovation, one for risk management, whatever it is. You don't get your HR team trying to innovate HR, I guess is what I'm saying. Let them do their job. They can be part of a co-creative process with an innovative team, and they definitely should be, counseled and looked at for direction and real information. I heard this the other day. Someone said, so now you've renovated your kitchen. Does it make you a better cook? And that's, I think, a good metaphor to like, okay, if we implement this digital transformation, will we be better at our jobs and what we're trying to bring to life in the world? And as I said before, to me, mass AI, as it's being adopted today, is not really the real transformer or the real transformation driver. I think critical thinking and human empathy are required now more than ever. And that's the irony in the whole AI conversation, is people are now starting to say that. And that data does not, in fact, help you to guarantee any one outcome. And data overload and delayed decision-making can actually be your biggest risk. So now we can go to any questions that you have, and then I'd love to stay connected and keep the conversation going.
Okay, questions? Anyone? Harish, can you
Harish,
please switch on your
yeah.
camera
There.
and go for it?
Okay, I mean, camera, I'm right now digitally challenged, so I won't be able to do that. But I have
No
a
worries.
question. I'm intrigued by this wonderful statement, death by data.
Yeah.
Is it just a concept, or you have any business examples of this, which has really happened?
Yeah, one business example, I won't name the company's name, but it was one of my clients when I had my consultancy, and they're one of the biggest FMCGs. They're a very well-trusted brand in food and beverage. And I was helping them transform their management trainee and talent management kind of operations around the world. And once I got in there, it became clear that they had, I think it was 30 intranets that they did not know that they had. So it was such an entrepreneurial place that all of the teams, I called it unbridled creativity, and they all were out there, launching their own intranets and then using those intranets to compile and house different kinds of data that they were getting both from their employees as well as their customers. And I think that then it was creating unnecessary chaos. However, there also, like I said before, there wasn't anyone who really had the oversight of the data to be able to then analyze it properly and then make decisions based on it. So you had lots of bottlenecks across the organization where they were looking at their one sliver of data, coming to the table with a solution that then everybody had different conflicting solutions, which just kind of froze the organization around this one issue that they were trying to solve. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I mean, taking that kitchen analogy forward, I think I can add that too much of oil in kitchen can burn it also. Too much of data. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well said.
I must admit that this is a first for me. I've heard of death by PowerPoint, but death by data is a new one for me. Of course, analysis paralysis is, yeah.
Yeah, well, it literally, it's
there.
killed. I think why I use the word death, and it's good that we stop on this because, I'm being somewhat tongue in cheek, but I've seen it actually kill true innovation. And I've seen it kill like really amazing ideas. And I've also seen it kill kind of the energy that teams had to finish some very amazing projects. So again, if you go back to the YTL example, they said we're going to do this in 1 year. They made it happen. The focus was clear, and they believed enough in the courage of their convictions that what they were doing was the right thing, and that they had the best technology and they had the best partners. They were willing to go on that, more than needing a lot of data to kind of prove that what they were doing was the right thing.
How do I raise my hand indicating that I would like to ask a question? It looks like the raise hand function is not available.
So if you look at React below, next to chat,
yeah,
you will see you can raise your hand. But since
that's okay.
you are one of the youngest people here, go ahead after Bharat.
Okay, so shall I go now?
Yeah, Bharat.
Marta, lovely sharing and resonate with a lot of your points, especially that you have stressed the need for cultural inputs from various geographies, which I face a biggest challenge on. Because before launching global transformation plans, what do you think as extended arm in Hong Kong? I mean, what I do here. I find that regional teams truly make it, the local for vocal, which everyone says. What specific steps would global companies take to ensure local teams aren't just implementers, but co-creators of these strategies? Very important for me to understand that. Thank you for your sharing on this.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. It's beautiful. And it's one of the things I've done multiple times in different organizations. It started when I was running public affairs, global public affairs for the Motion Picture Association. After I left America Online, I went to Hollywood and I was in charge of all of the digital piracy consumer awareness campaigns that we were doing. And I had to bring together the interests of all of the Hollywood movie studios, including the corporate communications teams, as well as their technology teams, as well as their lawyers. When I first joined the MPA, the lawyers didn't want to say anything to the press. They wanted to use no comment. And I said, look, we need to use this as a way to educate people about piracy and help them understand, why it matters and what we're trying to do and why creativity matters. So I actually created what was called a PR council. And I brought together the heads of corporate communications of all the Hollywood studios. And then we had other committees that they then met with the technology teams and the legal teams, et cetera. So bringing cross-functional groups together, I've been doing that kind of a model ever since. When I was at Korn Ferry, I was starting Korn Ferry International. I was starting a company, corporate comms, Marcoms team from scratch. I was the only person for the company, and again, it was a transformation opportunity. They were transforming their whole business model, actually, from just executive search to leadership transformation. And so what I did then, I literally didn't have a team. So I went to the business heads in each of the countries. I think I was overseeing 13 countries in the region. I got the buy-in from the CMO in Los Angeles, as well as my regional president, but we created what I called the Marketing Gurus Network. We made it a very big thing, and people of all levels of the organization who wanted to be part of it could kind of compete to be a part of it. And we had everyone from like executive assistants to like the gentleman who ran our Indian business was on my Marketing Gurus network. So what we did then was we co-created the strategy for the region with the local inputs. And then to your point, and because I had such small budgets, I then took that up to a global level and said, look, I want to promote Asia as a global differentiator for Korn Ferry. So I got the global teams on board with it. And then, as you said, when the appropriate time came, we then allowed the local teams to localize whatever aspects of the program they needed to. So again, those are two different examples. And I know that was a mouthful, but does that help answer the question?
Yes, Marta, because this leads to the very important of our platform, that is Global Entrepreneur Network, where you can get cultural insights from all over the world.
Yes.
Any comments how our members can use this to bring value to their businesses with the very important things you have mentioned right now?
Well, I think, these sessions obviously are going to be a very important part of it. And maybe it's something you can, work with Gaurav on in terms of figuring out kind of an editorial calendar of like, what are the things that we want to be able to kind of co-create together. I did a few years ago, a thing, it's called Bloom. I'll find the details, but it's a hackathon. And what's amazing is they brought executives from different industries all around the world, and companies would then come and say, okay, this is the problem that we want to solve. And then you do a hackathon for like a day or two, where everyone then brings their point of view and their best thinking, and you come up with different teams who then provide different solutions to the business problem or the challenge. So that could be a fun thing actually for a group like this to do, is kind of say, okay, here's the top 3 things that we all are facing as entrepreneurs. And now we want to get together and kind of co-create, put our best thinking down.
Great idea, Marta. Marta, can I request you to stop sharing, please? I will have the panel visible.
Thank you, Marta, for that. This is definitely going to be a great idea to implement, and we'll certainly look forward to that. Back to you, Gaurav.
We have about 6 minutes to go. So, Klaus, you next.
I think Andrew had a question as well.
Yeah, Andrew next. And then Rushi.
So I like how you differentiate between change, transformation, and evolution.
Mm,
It is kind of an unavoidable play on words. Evolutionary development is not equal to growth.
yep.
And growth seems to be an underlying paradigm. And the question is, whose growth do we have on our mind? Usually, and that's when whoever runs a business most likely has a desire to grow revenues and profitability. And I believe there is something that needs to be looked at. And I understand this is way beyond the scope of your discussion, and way beyond the time that we have right now. We currently have a global economy that overproduces, overpollutes, without serving the fundamental needs of humans.
Yes.
So I don't think we can discuss that now, and that's not the intention to put you on the spot with that. But what I would like you to take a look at, we have this beauty of dealing with blind spots, and you addressed the confirmation bias, and I would like to add the word of survivor bias.
Yep.
And that's what I believe is very often not considered well enough. And one particular example that, especially as we have a large community of people with an Indian background, some of you may know the Sentinel Islands. It would be nice if Sentinel Islands are actually a small group of islands to the southeast of India. And there's a tribe living there that kills anybody who tries to step foot on the island. And not that long ago, a young person from the US, a very religious person, highly motivated, completely passionate about his beliefs, desperately tried to get onto the island. The first time he actually got onto the island, the locals were shooting arrows at him. He was lucky, he had a Bible, and the arrow was stopped by the Bible. So he thought that's a sign of God that he shall do what he does. He returned the next day and was killed. What this person was not in the slightest ready to consider was that he comes from a world where people have a biological system capable of dealing with germs that to the Sentinelese people would be possibly lethal. So the good intention to solve a problem, these people don't know God, is so ignorant to the reality. And
Is
that
there a
is some,
question,
yes,
Klaus? Yeah. Is there
yes,
a question?
yes. That's the
I'm just
question
mindful of the
leading.
other people. Yeah.
That's the question leading into artificial intelligence. We
Yes.
have ignorant people building
People.
models. So I
Yes.
would like to hear about your views in that regard.
I think what you said is so important. And again, we could have a whole session on that wealth consciousness versus lack consciousness. The competitive, eat yourself for eat your friend for breakfast if you have to. And, who are the shareholders that we're looking at? I think also having been in Asia, the growth parameters have been crazy for the last few years. And again, going back to Corn Ferry days, we were constantly looking at the growth. And my most recent role in travel and hospitality, constantly looking at the growth and with ridiculous KPIs and not really paying attention to the overall thing that we were trying to achieve. To your point about AI, I think that, the beauty of AI, I think one of the best ways to use AI in terms of the mass AI that we talked about before is mass research. So if you have to quickly find an answer on something or prepare a conversation like this and get like the top points, you can go to ChatGPT and it'll scour everything and get you a very quick solution that will streamline, your life greatly. You don't have to read, for 20 years to come up with the same conclusion. The problem is it's only then still based on the information that's out there, the quality of the questions that you ask it. So again, questions are the answers. What questions are we asking it? And then, is it going to really come up with original thought? Is it going to have any critical thinking on its own about what it's digesting? No, I think that that's the limitation that I'm seeing. I think the bigger picture people that are really expert in AI that I've heard speak in the last year or so, they made the point that again, it's almost it's at a dangerous point that depending on the intentionality of the people, prompting AI is also then whether it's going to create beauty in the world or more chaos and even, damaging effects. So that's a personal, professional kind of, point of view. And I would love to have a bigger conversation with you specifically, Klaus, about the big systems, systemic issues that we're facing.
Marta,
Thank
on
you.
that note, thank you very much for your very informative and immersive session. Ladies and gentlemen who raised their hands, can I please request you to be online? We'll do our business session, and at 9:30, we will extend the session by 15 minutes for those who can be with us, so that we can use that time for the questions that you have very patiently sought to be answered. Marta, is that okay with you?
I think that's okay. I think also what I had on my last slide was just my contact information. What we can do is put that back in the group, and then
Yes.
I'm happy to extend like a 20-minute quick start call if people want to have a deeper conversation about their question in the coming days.
Fabulous. And we look forward to seeing you in Dubai. Klaus, we will have a lunch with Marta where, we could make it a brunch even. On that note, thank you everyone for being with us on this session. I'd request Bharat to take 2 minutes. He has something important to share with us, and then we will have our business session led by Alithia. Bharat, over to you.
Bharat, you're on mute.
Yeah, I unmute myself. Okay, fair enough. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, one thing which Marta said appeals to everyone, it's evaluation. Digital transformation is not a one-time game. We at Gen have started our little journey with the bandwidth we have on this Linktree platform where everything is under one link so that you can access that. All our leaders are here. Our social media is here. And our past speakers, past sessions are also here. And on top, you can see our today's session, where you can also reach out to Marta because Marta is there on the LinkedIn there. I would love everyone to take 30 seconds. We have 2 minutes here. So 30 seconds, please go to the link and write, as you said, the gratitude you wrote there, which was there before. But you can also give some testimonials for Marta or some questions you have asked today, answers you have got there on this page so that it will bring value to all the stakeholders and improve the process of our digital transformation. Back to you, Gaurav, with a 30 seconds break for everyone to write something what they would like to do. And I'm writing mine as we speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bharat. Well, we have another 15 seconds for you to put your note. Earlier on in the chat column, you would have seen the WhatsApp group link shared. Please join our WhatsApp group. That way you will be able to kind of interact with a whole lot of other people. The way we roll is the business session that we have. Alicia will introduce that, and post the meeting, if you're on the WhatsApp group, you will get a PDF document which you can use to reach out to people who you'd like to reach out to. On that note, our president, Alithia, over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Martha. That was brilliant. I honestly came with a mindset that, I'm getting tips for digital transformation. And then what I take away is don't do it, don't overdo it. And it was a complete contrast. That's amazing. And it was quite a reality check. And this is so true. And my favorite slide, and I put it already on our group, was the data, the massive amount of data and how people are hiding behind data, really. I mean, people are just putting data to not do things, and those 2 points, the first two were my favorite, because I think we see it all the time. There's with so much of AI and so much of excess data coming out, it's not even funny. And Korn Ferry, and we know them, we use them all the time at our company, and they're one of the best analysis paralysis platform, right? Because they would take all the data, they get it all, and they give it out in a single sheet, which really makes so much more sense, right? So we love them already. One of the very big professional companies, and something a lot to learn from. So thank you so much for that session, and lovely. If you can extend 15 minutes after this 30 minutes that we do for any more questions. And I think Andrew and a few others, Roshni and Roshi had questions as well. So let's have them in the end. Let's start with our main business session that we normally do. This is a normal platform where entrepreneurs, global entrepreneurs network. Our massive vision, mission, purpose is to connect people, not only in where you're operating from, not only in the region that you're operating from, but potentially connect you to one new contact outside of your region, one new contact potentially today in Sydney, or the other regions where people are connecting from. Some people are in India, some of us are in Dubai, and some of us are in different regions and stuff. So this is technically what we try to do. And not only just the person that's coming from that region, we also want to connect to you, the phone book of that person. So the entire contact list in his mobile is today ours, right? So if you can ask correctly, let's ask, just introduce us a business quickly in like 10 to 30, 15 seconds, and then quickly ask for that contact or the connection that you want for this thing, for expanding yourself, that one new connection every week. That's our little goal. And that little small action on that can help us move our whatever intention and growth that we are planning in our business to the next level. And that's what we do. So 2 ways of sharing connection, and I'm going to take that, but there is a link in the chat I've been posting repeatedly. The only way you get called to introduce yourself is if you put your information in that link. And if you're attending for the first time, you will fill it today. But when you come back every Saturday, your filled information will remain in that link. And you're free to edit anything if you want, but you need to resubmit that link every Saturday when you meet us. We meet every Saturday, and this is what we do. Okay, so let's get started with the introduction session. One more housekeeping, 2 ways of sharing a contact or connection. If you already know Martha well, if you already know Bharat well, you already know that, they're capable and whatever, great. Send that reference contact and say, use my name, and go ahead and help them with whatever you're offering, correct? But maybe you're meeting Niranjan for the first time. Maybe you're meeting Andrew for the first time. Maybe you're meeting Klaus for the first time, and you don't necessarily know them so well. You don't have that trust or the credibility built yet. You can still share that contact, and you can say, don't use my name as a reference, but take this number. This number is lying in my phone book for 2 years, 3 years. I haven't worked with them recently, but this could be a potential contact you're looking for. So you share that contact irrespective, and you say, don't use my name. And again, as our values say, integrity is one of our values. So please, when someone says, don't use my name, be integral and don't use his name. You can say, I got it from a platform, one of the online platforms. Like you can say, I got it from one of the networking platforms, but this is a reference and I want to connect with you. All right. So that's the way we do it. Let's get started, and more instructions as we go. The first one on my list I have is Anupama. And then we have, I'll tell you the next one later. But let's have Anupama start with it.
Thank you, Alifia. Good morning once again. This is Anupama from 4C Integrated Communicators. I'm based out of Dubai, and what we do marketing communication. Anything and everything under the marketing scope is our job, is our business, is our bread and butter. What I'm seeking today from you is connections who are interested to launch their businesses in Dubai. With Trump on my side, I think there's a lot of influx from outside into Dubai. So anybody who's interested in starting up in Dubai, you can connect them with me. Thank you very much. Over to you, Alifia.
Okay, brilliant. So she's your marketing arm, and marketing always is the first thing, but the go-to-market strategy for the Middle East. And Middle East, as we all know, is one of the most booming places. So put in the chat Anupama and your name in the chat. Just put Anupama first, right? Anupama, because it's a reference and a lead you're giving for Anupama. So put her name first and then put your name in the chat. We will summarize this in a sheet and this will be shared in a WhatsApp group later after this meeting. Great. Awesome. So Anupama will now reach out to Niranjan this week and see how he wants to connect and help her. So again, anyone else, Anupama and your name in the chat for any company that potentially wants to start a business in the Middle East, one of the most happening regions. Okay, I have Jude now, but I don't see him in the meeting. So I'm going to go to the next one. Rushi, go now, and then we have Gaurav after.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Martha. It was an amazing session. So I'm a clinical psychologist, transformation coach, and energy healer with 25 years of experience. And today the question is, do you know yourself? Have you met yourself? So if this question is asked, most of us would say that, I am my personality or the way I behave, the way I think, the way I emote. But this is beyond. Even your genes are giving you an indication of what you can excel at. And if you would like to know all these three things and align with your business goals, professional goals, or personal goals, you can reach out to me in the new assessment that is called Meet Yourself. Thank you.
Wow, brilliant. So guys, put Rushi and your name in the chat. If you know anyone who could benefit with what she's offering. So again, it need not be for you, but it could be for your neighbor, it could be for your friend, it could be for your family member or your friend at work or whatever. So put Rushi and your name in the chat. Anyone in your phone book that would benefit from what Rushi has to offer. Mental well-being, resilience, extremely important. Many people are suffering from it, you know it. Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks, Martha, for stepping in all the time. It's lovely. We always believe in this law of karma kind of a thing. The more you give, the more you receive. And you could receive from someone else as well, right? So it's awesome. Awesome, brilliant. Let's have Gaurav and then it's me after, followed by Seemant. Let's go, Gaurav.
Thank you, Alifia. Well, my name is Gaurav Paul. I'm based here in Dubai. Been here since 1997. So I'm coming up to my 27th or 28th year here in Dubai. I humorously call Dubai India's best city because if you come here, you will see this is like an extended region. I've been here in communication and marketing and a few other things. So like Bharat, my friend in Hong Kong says, extended arm in Hong Kong. I am your extended arm in Dubai. If you need anything in the Middle East, if you're planning to start off something, do connect with me. I also am part of a business where we use technology for solutions. So I have a tool where we can use AI for calling in or calling out for people. So I'm looking at restaurants, hotels, and any organization that would like to use AI for calling agents. So if you have, say, 50 people on your call center, we can cut it down to as little as 5. So do connect if you'd like to know more about this. Thanks.
Well, so connections is all you need, guys, because you can have the best product, the best, anything that you've created. But if you have that right extended arm, the extended contact who can, take you to the right places, you can shorten your time to expand. So connect with Gaurav. He's extremely experienced, 25 years in this region, and a very, very senior professional in our industry. He knows pretty much all the top senior people everywhere you would ever need. So definitely connect with him. He can really extend your Just very quickly, for people who've not yet filled your link, I have Seeman, Bharat, Ratan, and Nitin now. For Andrew, Klaus, Martha, you too, please, if you can, do fill in your introduction in the link so that everyone will have your coordinates and easier to reach out. I'm next. So hi, I'm Alifia. I run, you entered and good, then I should have it. All right. So hi, I'm Alifia. I run a company called Rooftop Sales. We are into helping people sell more. Anyone struggling on giving too much discounts, price negotiations, don't know. Our biggest power that we have is an irresistible price product offer. How do you pitch correctly, and how do you create that irresistible strategy where nobody can say no, and make it the most relevant pitch to market? Because it's not always about giving discount. It's always about getting the right price product mix, which is the strongest offering that we do. But anyone have any sales challenges or anything? We're also helping companies launch IPOs now. So if any company in Dubai doing revenue more than $3 million and above, we can help them launch IPOs. So Dubai and KSA is doing a lot on IPOs. We're creating a lot of unicorns as well. So those are the contacts and connections. Any CXO, CEO, founder who wants to really go big, wants to grow and scale his numbers, go launch an IPO in this Middle East region. Those are the companies I'm looking for. So put Olivia and your name in the chat if you have any company which is doing at least $3 million and above on annual revenue. So put Olivia and your name in the chat. Any company doing more than $3 million, 10 million, 12 million dirhams annually, or million dirhams monthly is what we target. Okay, need not be yourself. It could be anyone in your contact list as well. But all right, we'll pass on. Let's go to Seemant now, and then we go to Bharat after. Seemant is not here.
Hi, I'm just turning and just connecting my videos.
Okay.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Seemant from Dubai, and I specialize into digital marketing. And we also developed an AI agent, which can not only chat with you, but also can make calls in multiple languages. It can act as your first point of interface on your website, WhatsApp, in your social media, and collate all the interactions at one place, and also give you insights on the conversation which is happening on your website or your media with the customers who can come 24/7 and communicate in multiple languages. So as we know, there's a lot of buzz about AI, and these solutions are getting a lot of traction now to automate a lot of the customer interactions. Thank you.
So, Seemant, you're looking for CEOs or marketing, or what kind of size of company?
For these, typically marketing, customer service, as well as IT teams are involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, put AI chatbots is the most important thing right now. Everyone needs it. So put Seemant and your name in the chat. Again, need not be for your business. Anyone in your phone book, if you know any companies who need automated chatbots, and I think every company needs it right now. There's about 10% of the market who've got it. 90% still need it. Knock, knock, knock. Hello. All right, great. Thanks, Martha, for stepping in again. Guys, at least let's try and give at least one reference to each and every person. Okay, I'm sure, how many have 0 contacts in your phone book, in your mobile? 0 contacts, you're exempted. If you don't want to give even a single reference. If you have 0 contacts in your phone book, be my guest, you're allowed. Okay, but if you have more than 100 contacts, I'm sure there's one person who needs a chatbot. Okay, so Bharat, go now, and then we have Ratan after, followed by Nitin.
Okay. So I hope I'm not on mute. Okay. So first of all, in today's volatile Trump's world.
30 seconds, bro.
Yes. Supply chain disruptions from delayed shipments to skyrocketing logistic costs. Is it what you face, or are these crippling your business? As a strategic advisor for Asia's expansion, I help organizations enter new markets, rethink their supply chains for resilience, cost efficiency, and speed. One of my clients is a leading Indian OEM manufacturing 3M plus electric fans annually, 2 billion and above. He is looking for warm introductions to distributors in Africa, specializing in consumer durables, lighting, or electrical goods. It can be in Middle East also. So please give me some references for importers, retail chains with established network and bulk order capacity. We are looking for OEM buyers. And that's my ask for the day.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So guys, Hong Kong, as you all know.
My give is 30 minutes of free consultancy to anyone looking to come to Hong Kong.
Great, fantastic. So Hong Kong is the nicer China, right? Like they call it. So much easier to work with and stuff like that. So connect with Bharat. He's looking for importers. So anyone know any importers in all the business line that he's looking for? This can be global. Anyone, anywhere, importing all the material that he was talking about. Come on, guys. So importing and everything comes from Hong Kong and China, right? And with China having so much of tariffs, maybe Hong Kong is a better bet. So put Bharat and your name.
This is from India, Alicia. This one is from India. Air supply, air circulation goods.
Oh, okay, great. Awesome. Okay, you have Seemant now. Okay, Ratan, go now, and then we have Nitin.
Yeah, love and gratitude to everyone. This is Ratandeep Singh Mata. I'm a leadership and business manifestation coach. So I help aspiring C-level executives and existing C-level executives, as well as founders of startups, to climb up the ladder without resorting to manipulation or people pleasing or any kind of office politics. So if you're looking out for a peaceful way to climb up the ladder, by leveraging law of attraction, reprogramming your subconscious mind, spiritual alignment will complement your professional growth and you will no longer feel a void within. So feel free to connect. I would love to offer you a free one-to-one demo session and we can take things ahead after that. So if you or anyone else requires that, feel free to get in touch. Every Saturday and Sunday, I have free sessions as community service. Saturdays, 8:30 p.m. IST. Sundays at 12:30 p.m. IST. You can feel free to attend them. No strings attached. You don't have to buy anything. Stay blessed. Stay awesome. Take care.
It's unbelievable, and it's almost impossible to climb a corporate ladder without politics and without. It's unheard of, to be honest, to many people, I think. But connect with him. I think he can enlighten us, and it's a nice way to grow, right? So definitely, he has some tricks up down his pocket. So guys, connect with him. Corporate ladders is important for many people. Of course, we are all entrepreneurs, but definitely in your community, in your friends, in your cousins, in your, whatever, people are on jobs and they're always looking at climbing the corporate ladder. And if they can do it without all the unethical ways and stuff, it's always lovely, right? So connect them with Ratan, let him help them. Okay, I have Nitin now. Something wrong with Floss? I didn't actually get it yet. And what about Lipika? Have you submitted? JL?
Yes, I have.
Niranjan, have you submitted on the
I
link?
have.
Yes.
Lipika, you
Yes,
have?
yes. I have submitted.
Yes.
You submitted last time when you attended or this week also?
Both the
So guys,
times.
if you attended last time, it will tell you that you've already attended and stuff, but you need to edit, go to the bottom and submit again.
Resubmit.
Yes, resubmit. Go to the bottom of the sheet. If you have nothing to change, no problem. You need to resubmit so that you come back into today's sheet. So if you've submitted in the past, it will say you have already responded. But we need to edit, go to the bottom of the sheet and submit again. Then you will come back in today's sheet. All right, let's have Nitin now.
Hi all, my name is Nitin Chandra. I have a company named as Versace Industries Private Limited. I've been working now for almost 33 years. I work in diversified fields and I won't take it long introduction. I'm still a techie guy and a consultancy person. So IT and civil engineering consultancy are two of my experience areas. Feel free to call me. Thank you.
Fantastic. So Nitin, he didn't explain too much, but he does ERP, CRM, and automation processes, business processes on technology, which is extremely key and important. So guys, put Nitin and your name in the chat. It does civil engineering and CRM and ERP, everything to automate your business processes. In our world of sales, we always say, you only need sales in the starting. But after that, you need systems and processes to really make sure, because the more sales that you will keep getting, if it's not delivered well, you will lose customers. So it's only in the initial of your entrepreneurship journey that you need sales. But after that, you need systems and processes to automate the sales and deliver consistently. That's what helps the business grow. So Nitin and your name in the chat. If anyone is scaling and growing above a certain size, then you need custom made IT solutions. You cannot take off the shelf products. It stops working after a point. After a point, you need custom made. So take Nitin and your name in the chat. Come on, guys. Anyone in your phone book.
Couldn't have explained it better myself. Thank you so much.
That's what I do on sales. Okay, guys, I don't have anyone else. Niranjan, Lipika.
Yeah,
Andrew.
mine is already says it's already there, Alifia.
I can translate that what I just repeated, but just resubmit. Go to the bottom.
Resubmit.
You have to edit and resubmit.
Okay, just let it be now, because actually I'm in I'm in Edinburgh and I need to run for another meeting now.
Okay, go ahead with your introduction. I'll find you from the past. Guys, anyone for Nitin? Okay, go ahead, Lipika, and then we'll have
Okay, so hi, I'm Lipika Sood. I'm an interior designer and also a motivational speaker and an artist and a poet. And I love sharing things on different platforms. I've been running my enterprises, 3 companies that I run for the last 30 plus years. Digitalization is something something that we all need to learn. So yes, here I am to learn from others. Interior design is what I do and I love doing. Doesn't feel like work. So I'm traveling around the globe now. Was in Belgium also to design a yoga and wellness center, and now in Edinburgh. So yes, if there's any connect on anything where I could be part of an interior project with architects, interior designers, contractors, we'll be happy to work with them, and we'll be happy to explore more possibilities of doing design projects across the globe. My website is lipika.com, and I will again share my LinkedIn connect, which I've already done on this chat right now.
So Lipika, this chat is only temporary, so it will not go with anyone, unfortunately.
I will do it, as you said. I'll put it on the...
Just try to edit. You have to edit and then come back to it, but I'll try.
Sure. I'll do that. Thanks a lot. I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Everybody, bye. Right. Thanks a lot, Martha, and thanks to everybody here.
Andrew, you can go ahead with your introduction.
Thank you.
And then we'll have Klaus introduce it.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll try and keep it short and sweet. So I've been involved in public speaking now for the better part of 25 years. I started at 11. I won my first international competition at 14. I'd given about 200 speeches by the time I was 16 and won a world championship at 18. So since then, I've written introductions to 2 US presidents, the Secretary of State and Sadhguru, as well as working with, at this point, probably several hundred founders and execs, getting ready for presentations, pitches, and keynotes. So if anyone is looking to have a one-on-one session to just get honest, high-level feedback on their presentation, I can be as nice as you need me to be. It's always positive, but there's no fluff. And it's very structuralist. I'm not telling you to be yourself. We're focusing on concrete, actionable improvements. So if anyone's interested, please feel free to reach out. There's always a half an hour free session, and there's a variety of ways that we can go from there. There's a book available, there's courses available, and then there's bespoke one-on-one training.
You're brilliant. So Andrew, you have about 4 people who want to connect with you, but if I don't get your contacts and your coordinates, people will not know how to reach out to you.
I submitted my form about 2 minutes ago.
You did? Okay, because for the people who are coming first time, you can do a very brief one as well. You can always fill it. It allows you to edit later as well. Just do anything brief, dashes, whatever, leave your phone number, email, and that's it. And then you can keep and go back and update it later as well. All right. Okay, let's have Claus. So we have about 1 minute to go.
Hello. So Olivia, did you get it? I submitted recently.
I don't know whether it's a problem with my screen or it's something to do with you guys. Okay, I did get Lipika, so she did it. So no, this is Google, so it cannot be us. It's Google, it always works. All right, let's have Claus.
Thank you. I said on my form that the business service is shifting consciousness. And that is a high-level description of doing things that include coaching, that include work on organizational dynamics, as it's not just one leader, it is an organization with a set of people, systems, and processes they have in place. And that all develops its own characteristic and personality profile. Unless that is properly taken care of, it will not work. So what I'm looking for is introductions to companies that are serious about organizing themselves around providing services that serve people, the planet, and generate profit. Thank you.
Fantastic. So one of the most important things again. So guys, put Claus and your names if you know companies that could benefit with more profits. That's what I took away. So if any company needs more profits, you can connect them to Claus. That's how we're gonna just put it. Okay. So Claus, again, I'm going to spend 5 minutes with people who've not been able to get on the Google Sheet after the meeting, but we are already 1 minute up. Niranjan, go ahead with your quick introduction, and then we will close officially.
Yeah, thank you, Jen, and thank you, Olivia, for giving the opportunity. So myself, Niranjan Shah, I'm a chartered accountant from India. So we do help people to set up the companies in India. So those who are looking to be in India for investment and other business purposes, we help them to legally for finance and accounting as well as taxation part. Apart from that, we also help people or Indians to set up the companies outside India, like Dubai, USA, and UK. Vis-a-vis, there are lots of compliances in India as far as Foreign Exchange Management Act and FDI, ODI related matters. We are dealing with that in India. I am also a registered valuer, and we help startups to do valuations and funding like matters. So that's all from my side. Myself, Niranjan Shah. I'm a chartered accountant from India. Thank you.
Great, chartered accountant. So guys, put Niranjan and your name in the chat for chartered accountant services. Okay, awesome. So Niranjan, for the people who are new, every networking platform you go to, people will say, yeah, I want to connect, and then you don't know, and how do you connect to all 30 people who are attending, right? So, and then sometimes you're like getting into their space. Maybe they're not interested to connecting with you. But what we do differently at Global Entrepreneur Network is now people have showed interest. There are 2-3 people who have said, hey, I've got something to help you, or I'm interested in your services, and please do reach out to me. So now these people have volunteered and offered you to connect with you. This is in our sales world, we call it pull marketing. So rather than pushing to connect with people, we're saying, no, this is a pull now. So now there are some people who have offered to support you with whatever you're trying to pitch. So the least you can do is reach out to them, right? So do reach out to them, or then find Seaman's chatbot to reach out to them automatically if you don't have the time to do it, right? So 2 ways of doing it. But with that, I want to officially call this meeting to a close. I do want to allow questions for Martha for her beautiful share. And so we want to keep this room open for another 15 minutes at least. And then if anyone's still struggling with the Google Sheets, just reach out to me on a personal message right now on the chat, and I'll help you out with that as well. So let's keep the chit chat on. Thank you all for coming. And those who want to leave, feel free to go. Officially, the meeting is over. We will meet again every Saturday, and do help to share our group links and our platform with everyone. Also remember to join our WhatsApp group, because the sheet from today's contact list will be shared in our WhatsApp group right now. So with that, let's keep the chat on. The questions, Andrew,
Okay,
for Martha.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gaurav, take over.
Thank you for your patience. Marta
Oh,
is here, so go for it.
well worth the wait. So I was really curious to find out, because I recently, one of the speeches that I've been working on was for, there's a phenomenal woman out in the Valley who's one of the leading researchers for AI. And one of the biggest challenges that she enunciated constantly was the lack of, not just the lack of diversity, but what it means in practice when you have international businesses that are trying to implement Western created AI solutions.
Yeah.
So giving, I mean, even just within the States, she gave there was one example where they were trying to implement, McDonald's had I'm sure you're familiar, where they had an automated AI answering system when you would make your order, but because it was all created by Western guys from the Valley, it wasn't even able to process accents.
Yep.
And so, and obviously you hear extreme cases of that all the time. I think one of the worst ones was they tried to automate the holiday messages in Germany for KFC. And within one of the first weeks of the program, they tried to have a promo of free cheesy chicken to promote Crystal Nog. So I'm curious, especially with your focus on Asia, how often do you find that being a significant issue? And outside of that, are there any other really unique cultural, geographic concerns that you've run into, and what have been maybe your strategies to navigate through those?
Well, what an amazing question. Thank you. Thank you for it sincerely. It's one of my passions to talk about this. And I think I'll answer it as quickly as I can. And then again, we probably could talk separately for a lot longer. A few years ago, I was back in Los Angeles and I was invited to speak at an event called Get Global. I think it was 2016. And I was on 3 different panels. And one of them was about cultural understanding in the business context. And I was on a panel with my now dear friend. His name is Kyle Haggerty. And he's written a book called The Accidental Nomad. But he tells beautiful stories of when he first came to Asia. He's also American. And when he first came to Asia 20 years ago, he was running marketing for whatever company it was. It was more of a products type of an organization. And his boss in the States they had launched this whole marketing campaign. And when Kyle tried to explain, I don't think this is going to fly here in Asia, he said, "Oh, just slap a dragon on it. They'll all love it." So he actually, one of the sections of his book is about the slap dragons. And I guess that's a very nice somebody else's experience, just to kind of affirm my experience that it's pervasive. Americans, I have a video on my website as well from that event where I was interviewed about how to roll out a global brand and the mistakes that Americans make. So I'll flick that in the chat as well. But I think, Americans and things are changing now, but I try to explain to other people that Americans just are raised, as you might be aware, just kind of assuming, and we're trained that we're the number one in the world. We're the number one in the world, and we also don't go outside of our own country. So then that creates a very interesting combination where what's amazing is it's not changing, and it hasn't changed. I've been interviewing for full-time jobs in and out of the COVID conundrum. And I've talked to recruiters back in the United States, and the way I summarize it is global. If you have a global head of, say, marketing in New York or Los Angeles, that means they go out to the region once every quarter, and that gives them their global experience, right? And there's more and more people now are opting out and they're getting around. And like I said, I'm one of the first digerati and career expats, but I think there are those of us who actually live in places and have that cultural reverence that's a bit different. What I find amazing is, as an American, kind of bridging the gap, it's almost impossible still. Like they just don't want to hear. And I've had a few recruiters tell me that it took COVID for Americans to start to kind of understand, hey, we are all connected. And I know that that's a sweeping generalization. I myself have, beautiful friends who are very, world traveled and whatever. But that's the first thing to answer, just in terms of, it's not just about Asia. I think it applies to every market that I've done business in when it comes to American global HQs and the way that they operate. So hiring the right people to kind of, champion the global agenda has been something that I think needs to start happening more of. Put it there. In terms of the diversity of Asia specifically, I think one of the biggest shockers that people have, particularly if they're Western, is that in Asia, it's a lot of, apart from India, I'll say India is an exception to this rule, but in most of Asia, it's what's not said that it's more important than what is. I'll let you noodle on that. You see what I'm saying? And I think that, to this day, it's one of those big challenges that, again, Western executives going in, and not just Americans, but also Australians, et cetera, kind of going in and then not having the deep listening skills, but also not understanding what the silence means. And again, the face issue, I think, is the third thing, where, it's all about face. And so there's an innate hesitancy. Number one, there's the collectivist view that, we are in it for what's good for everyone else. So you don't necessarily want to put up your hand and put other people down or correct people. There is a lot of hierarchy still. In terms of, the man at the top is the one you listen to and you don't argue. And then I think there's a lot of, not speaking up to have, like I said, a contrarian point of view, and definitely not speaking up if you don't know the answer, because you don't want to be seen as not having the answer. And that's been, it's changing. I mentor a lot of executives across the region, and it is changing, and particularly in a place like Singapore, where it used to be just deadly to try to operate in Singapore and get the people to think on their own and take action on their own and have that brave point of view. That has changed now. I think there's a lot more confidence, and the Singaporean government has worked very hard to actually build up those people. Whereas if you look at a place like Hong Kong, and even the people that I worked with in Myanmar, I like to say they've got they walk to a disco beat. They've got a different kind of thing. They're scrappier, they're survivors, they're very entrepreneurial. So I think that that's the one thing I would say about Asia overall, is the appetite for learning and the appetite for creating something new is great. I think going back to the beginning of our conversation about wealth consciousness, which I'm not sure if you were on it or not, there is a different kind of wealth consciousness in Asia than in the United States. It isn't about us versus them. It's a lack, type of a situation where we all have to fight for ourselves. It's a much more belief and reverence, again, for a higher state of there's plenty for everyone to go around, and you create beauty and you focus on the good things in the world. So again, that's a mouthful and multiple answers. Did I answer your question?
No, I think you covered a lot of ground. And like I say, I'd love to have more time to jump into it, because there were a lot of moments where I was just smiling, where I remember even events that I've hosted in Thailand, and the difference between asking audiences versus giving them an anonymous forum where they could post their questions. All of a sudden, engagement went from 0 to 100 instantly, because they didn't have to put themselves out there. Or just the final point. I remember there was one where we were dealing with cross-cultural communication, and it was a Scandinavian company that was, again, based in Asia. And we were trying to deal with different scenarios. And there was one where we were looking at, okay, what do you do, for example, when a coworker has bad breath? Yeah. And the Danes were very proud of how much they'd integrated into Asia, and that, if this was Denmark, we'd probably just tell them. But, this is Thailand, so we would pull them aside and we'd give them a gum and we'd have the very quiet conversation. And then we had the Thais role play, and it was just, good morning, good morning. What did you eat for breakfast today?
Yep.
And that was the end of
and
the
making sure, and making sure that you ate breakfast, making sure you're healthy, and that you had, again, there's
not even that. No. And that was the issue, was that what you were supposed to extrapolate was that the only reason they would ask you in that particular tone was because you had eaten something that would give off an odor.
Mm-mm.
So to
I've
everyone
gotcha.
else in the
I've
room, it
gotcha.
was a perfectly nice question, but they
Yes.
would allow you to be cognizant of the issue while completely saving face. And just that level
Yes.
of subtlety, I think when you bring a lot of Westerners to,
Yes.
they just drown.
Yeah, the subtlety is real. I think also there is still a bit of gender kind of, myself as a white woman in Asia, if I had been a white man, I think I would have had a very less challenging experience in Asia than I did in the beginning. I just wrote about this actually. There's a book coming out in Dubai, I think next month. I just contributed a little chapter about my experience. It's called Women Empowering Women. And I speak about how it was very daunting to go from Los Angeles, California, where I was, having meetings with Sean Penn, and then coming to Asia and realizing I was at the bottom of the totem pole, especially with my white male colleagues from the West.
No, I'd love to read it. That sounds
yeah.
like it. Man.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marta. Sorry, we are extending this a bit. Rushi is our last.
I thought I was going to
saving the best for last.
Yeah. Rushi, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Martha. It was amazing to hear a very different perspective on digital transformation. What I could get out of this thing was what matters is your intention.
Yes.
And, in the end, how what contribution it is for, uh, you know, the we concept, right? It's not just the contribution to me, but it is the we. I think that decides how much you need to go through that. And in your presentation, what I loved most was the question part where you question yourself on how you want to take it forward. So all said, I think my question, most of it was answered by, through the different, answers you gave. But again, the point, what I'm looking at is when we are looking to move in the direction of global presence, right? Like, moving out from your own culture, that is me, to the we, right? Like if you talk about all of us going together. So how do you keep the me to accommodate the we?
I think I used to kind of promote myself as saying, thank you for the question and thank you for the kind words as well. I like to talk about globally resonant themes and then local relevance. We talked about that before. But I think if you look at humanity and you look at and I think all of us are kind of coming from the same page on some of this, but if you look at, what do all people desire and require, and coming from that, what is the highest story that we can tell that is going to speak to the hearts of pretty much anyone? People want to be loved. People want to have good things in their life. You know what I mean? People like to be appreciated, etc. So I think even from a marketing standpoint and a brand campaign standpoint, that's the point of view that I've always taken. And I've also always taken the most positive. I think I'm really, really, I'm kind of an anti-marketer in that point as well, in terms of the negative fear mongering, which now has run amok. So I think some of the best campaigns, if you look at MasterCard, for instance, with the priceless, it stands the test of time. Why? Because it speaks to all humanity across cultures in a very elegant one-word way, right? And so that would be an example of in the marketing brand standpoint. But I think that then, like I said before, looking at it from an operational standpoint, this is what we stand for. Now, who are we partnering with? What products are we selling? Who are we hiring? Who are we not hiring? All of those questions, in addition to like the digital conversation, should be built around that. It's just like as the work that you do. Once someone's in alignment, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is what I want to be known for. Now the choices that I make go along with that. Do I work out in the morning? Do I eat a piece of pizza? Who do I hang out with? All of those things. Did that answer the question?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rav. I know we've gone long.
Great. So that was a marathon
session.
Thank you so much, Marta. Okay.
I'll just take it. Hi, Martha.
Hi.
Have you worked in the MSME sector, typically with as you have experience with the Southeast Asia? So, what's been your experience, and what's the breakthroughs?
So in Southeast Asia, I didn't catch the first part of what you said. The what sector?
The micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSME sector.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the things that I do in addition is, so you'll see a little bit about it on my website. It's being updated, but I have also, for the last 10 years, I've been a mentor to solopreneurs and SMEs, in addition to working with the big brands. So even just last week, I finished some projects, with people here in Australia. And I think what I see happening, when I started my company in 2008, well, my first one was in 2002, actually, in Los Angeles. Not everybody was doing it. You know what I mean? It was not everyone was starting their own thing. And I think what I've seen in the last few years is there's a little bit of hype around the gig economy, the do your own thing, the work from anywhere, et cetera. And what I'm seeing are a few trends. Number one, people haven't thought, they have a great idea, but they have not thought through the business case. They have not thought through their pricing, their real offering, and how it's going to make them money. Do you know what I mean? Like literally, they haven't figured out like how to commercialize their idea. Or they haven't really done, again, this is where ChatGPT could just save a lot of heartache. Just go on, figure out what is your competition, and they think they have a really cool original idea, but it's not that cool or original. And so then they're competing with 10,000 times, it's making that much harder. I think the other thing is the BD cycle is very, very tough right now if you're doing B2B. It used to be like 90 days. I'd have a conversation today, within 90 days, I'd have a contract, and now it's like 2 to 3 times that long. And I think the stamina that it takes to keep going back and having that pipeline, I think Alfia was speaking of it before, having that system kind of automated, but also very human and differentiating. Everyone is just overwhelmed now with being pitched by everyone. So I think, again, I could go on, there's probably more, but I think those are the 3 that I'm seeing. And the people that I've met, they start their own business, they aren't making money. And then they themselves get into survival mode. And then I think, as Rushi probably knows, that's not the energy from which you can then create abundance either.
Not at
so
all.
It takes, yeah. It's a great question. Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
And also, I think on the positive side, I'll just say one more positive side. On this positive side, what I have helped many companies do is say, whoa, wait a second, they're trying to be like everybody else in a way. They kind of start to try to be like all things to all people. And so, I have very clear conversations with people about what is very unique about them and their product or their service that then they can bring to market and kind of let go of some of the noise. So there's a blind spot sometimes to what makes them truly great.
So my experience has been where, it was rightly pointed out by Alicia. It's like, the first 3-6 months where you are getting your sales and numbers, but then post that, putting it in a process. And sometimes people say, okay, the spreadsheet works for me. And they don't realize the potential has been blocked immediately the moment you stick to the spreadsheet thing. I typically keep processing it going for a small ERP, open source ERP, and open source background there. So so I can see that that's the niche or the mass market, bottom of the pyramid, so to say. But cracking that has always been a challenge. 90 days to 3 times more than 90 days is not even normal these days. It's like, it's like that.
I think the other thing too is it's kind of like Rushi said, know thyself. there's some people who have a great idea, they're the founder, they're the visionary, but they shouldn't be the salespeople. Or they're really good at getting like investor attention, but then they're not good at running the company. So that's the other thing. And I think, again, I'm mindful that poor Gaurav is like, please let's end this call. But I think, let's definitely chat some more because, I'd love to hear more about your experience. And then again, to kind of plug myself, I do have a few openings right now for people who, if you know anyone who is kind of in that startup situation and they need a little love, I'll send you a link to my like CEO confidant page.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Marta.
Thank you.
We'll let you go. Thank you for taking time for us and sharing your experience and wisdom with us. I'm sure we are wiser and we'll kind of do our due diligence before we dive in saying digital transformation is it. Context matters and culture matters too. So this is a good, meal of sorts, as they say, food for thought for us to process and take it on. I look forward to seeing you next week in Dubai, and we could do a gathering here where some conversations around a dinner table or lunch table could happen.
Yeah, be
Looking
beautiful.
forward.
Beautiful.
Appreciate everyone for being patient and being with us. Do put up something on our WhatsApp page about this session, on our LinkedIn page, and let's grow together. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Alifia, I think JL could not submit the form. Maybe you can guide her. JL, can you open your camera?
She's Jasmine Karim. Is she Jasmine Karim?
JL, can you open your camera, please?
Is she Jasmine? I think she's Jasmine Karim.
I don't know. But she raised her hand to do an introduction. I think she could not do it today. Niranjanji, I have added you to LinkedIn. Please send your pitch on the LinkedIn Messenger itself. And we'll just quit this meeting now.
We had someone called Poppy Chanda also. I don't know who that was.
So Niranjanji, you can leave this meeting now because we're closing now. JL, can you close the meeting? Can you leave the meeting?
Thank you.
Or Alifia, can you remove JL now? Because I think she's not there. And we can have a quick talk.
I'll put her in a waiting room.
Okay.
Just give me 5 minutes. I'm just finishing the sheet because then otherwise it gets pending for the rest of the day.
No problem.
Just give me 1 minute. Let's come in. Some people just added themselves only now.
Coming. अभी लूंगा क्या प्रोग्राम है तुम्हारा कहीं जाना है तुम्हें हाँ तो आईपैड से कर लो ना
Hi, JL, how are you? Put in waiting room. Done. Tell me now. Oof. Endless days, endless days.
what is
Never
that
ending. Endless days, yeah. Endless work, endless days, endless life. I enjoyed paddle yesterday, man. 3 hours and I'm dead. Meat. Not technically dead meat. I did wake up at 6 and I was working, but physically, like, finished drained out.
I had 5 meetings in 3 days 5 events in 3 days. I did
Wow.
2 events yesterday. This was also 2 hours, so this is an event again. And Toastmasters event is a big event tomorrow. We have a disability chair, equality commission by Hong Kong recognized Sadia Nasser giving us a keynote on parallels between disability advocacy and sustainability advocacy. It was Earth Day last week, so that is the reason. So, did you get a chance to talk to Chaitanya?
Did you tell me to call after a few days?
Okay.
So I was thinking today or tomorrow. But is anyone
Because
else coming in the later? We can ask them to join you.
I asked Gaurav, but he has not replied.
Let's send our photo.
Maybe you can call and check. But Marta comes with a lot of credentials, even Andrew for that.
We have some good new people also. Andrew was new. Klaus came in. Klaus, we know him from Dubai already. But it's nice that he came in from.
So we did not ask how Andrew came in.
Yeah, it was too rushed actually. It was nice that the gratitude got over early and stuff, but it was okay. It was just a time to finish. Okay, done. So let me just ask these guys if they want to come, and then we can.
No, I have nothing much to discuss. Just.
I don't know. I just want to basically, if Anupama is coming, then only it's worth it. Otherwise, I just need her to take some.
By the way, Ankita got a job.
Oh, where Dubai?
India, but her dream job.
Her dream job?
Mm.
India is a good place, to be honest. Right
She
now.
got in Netflix. She's in Netflix now.
Oh, nice. Rocking. Awesome there. So cool.
Joining on 19th.
Mabruk, Mabruk. Oh, that's a fantastic break. Much better than Landmark and all these guys there.
Yeah.
Because it's a known name and it's just that reputation. Even if you're doing a, like anything, it's still worth it. She's a hustler, man. She'll do very well. And India is the best place you can get real experience. The amount of struggle, hard work. In India, nothing comes close. Mashallah, she worked very hard, for getting the right thing. She was so focused.
But then again, her focus also had very clarity that she wants to do a social impact. And I think Netflix would be a place to, Landmark wouldn't, where
Landmark is fun. Landmark is just like cheap Indian, full of Indian and, like really no growth this thing also.
So did you see the message from Chaitanya and what do you make of it? The message I sent you after you said I want to say to you.
One second.
So Gaurav is back. So Gaurav, thank you for joining back.
Hi.
I was asking this question. What did you make of the Chaitanya's message on my group, which I've shared with both of you? Anupama is not in the know. So someone has to tell Anupama also. And Sabri also is not in the know. Huh?
I spoke with Anupama and I told her.
Okay.
So Chaitanya's, Alithia, have you spoken to him yet?
No, I'm going to call him now because I wanted to just, I was just talking with Bharat about it, to be honest. Should I call him right now? I can even call him like joining our meeting.
Yeah. I have a take on it so that there is context. Basically, I think he is kind of struggling with his funds. So he's doing a thing with Swapna today. And we should allow him that kind of freedom. But we just need to know what, in the forum we say completion. So we need to complete what was his experience, what drove him out, and the least.
Why don't you join me together? We'll call him.
Say, okay, I've had enough. I've contributed. This is my effort, and now I have to do different things.
Gaurav, why don't you join me for this? We can do an online call with him. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like that.
Just send him a message.
Yeah, I'll send him a message and say, can we connect on Zoom for like 10 minutes or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, before you do that, I would like Alifia's response on my question. What do you get of the message he has sent you?
So, Bharat, I just sent you a message saying, can you send me the earlier messages? So, because he's saying in that asks for articles. I told you what articles should be. Did you read what was sent?
He sent me 2 links, which is a link to a tool telling how a newsletter is written. That's it.
Send me the earlier messages, if you don't mind, screenshot. If you're okay, if it's okay with that. So, what's your question to me? That what did you think? What do I think about this message?
Yes, and I've sent you just now, I'm sending you and Gaurav the same message what I received before that message. So you will have to make up whose message is whose, because I'm not taking a screenshot, I'm just putting it.
I'm seeing a screenshot which says, I'm exiting the group. I'm leaving Gen 2.
Yeah,
all the very best with what you are doing. I asked for articles. I told you what article should be. Did you read what was sent? You just bulldoze mindlessly and the others do not listen.
So that is why what my question is, what do you make out of, and I'm sending you the messages we exchanged before. It's gone. You can check. He sent me a link to Beehive, which is, you can see, and this is a paid course. Please educate you. So I said, thanks for sharing. And then he asked me, do we have a speaker for this week? And then I replied, we do not have a speaker for this event.
Look, I don't know where this came from. Looking for speakers was my domain. And then Chaitanya was doing this for the last 2 months. And I kind of pitched in wherever. But there was no communication between Chaitanya and me. So
no, one thing for sure, let me put the things in right perspective. Chaitanya gave us a strategy that we should have a month. Okay. Then Alifia told him, okay, you get the speakers. He said, I will get the speakers for the first 2 months. And then I spoke to him. He said, I am frustrated. It's too much of a job for getting a speaker. Then Alifia said, why don't you do 1 speaker a month? But nobody responded. So I said, okay, if that is the case, I took upon myself to say we have 3 ladies in the house, Jessica and everyone, Anupama and Alifia. We can do month focus women entrepreneur. And then we can take it from there. So my problem in understanding Gaurav is Chaitanya has spoken, but he assumes that we will understand everything. He will not clarify. He says, I am doing it for 2 months. Who does after 2 months? It is not his game. And Olivia is giving him a solution. Please do it once a week, not understanding that he doesn't want to do it. So we are not listening to each other. And then if you are the person who's getting speakers in the last 1 year, we did not have a proper focus every time. You know, it's very, very arbitrary when we will get a speaker. If I would recommend is we can have 1 speaker at least every 2 weeks. We have seen it leads to engagement and it is a very big, and every week speaker is too much a task. Because like today, I was very shocked to see 85 people have signed in. Only less than 15. There were not 20 people. And our quality of audience is not good enough for speakers like Marta or Andrew. This guy, Klaus, speaks 3 minutes and then there's no question in the end. So we need to understand where we are going wrong and we should limit it. The challenge is who's speaking and who's listening. Now, Olivia, you have got the messages. I want your take, what you think happened. Before we talk to, let us make a strategy before we talk to Gaurav. What are we talking about?
Okay, so basically
First,
just a few things to mention about
yeah,
clause and all that is not something that everyone needs to engage. Gaurav was leading it, so it's okay. Let him handle it. And it's his account, like if he's talking for 15. And I love the way Martha stopped him as well. So it was lovely.
I posted
But
that to
yeah,
Gaurav also.
yeah, so it's okay. So Gaurav was leading that segment and it's his drive to do it. As long as he finishes at 9 sharp, that's fine. So, and then we can always give him the prompts and stuff. So it's no need for every leader to get involved in everything. Just quickly about Gaurav's question, that he was arranging speakers, and then like you rightly already said that, he decided the month of this thing, and then I feel Chaitanya really did come and step in places which was not working in many ways because the speakers was not coming consistently, and then he built that momentum, and then he also did this LinkedIn thing, which was for a while, but that also helped to build momentum, but it was all like um, which was appreciated. I think it was really well. It did build the momentum, and that LinkedIn group and all also that he created, it helped to build the momentum. So, and what we're ideally doing as a group was playing on everybody's strengths because it was his strength that he can easily do this as a second nature and all that. And then for us as stepping in, that okay, like today you got Martha and so whoever's available with whoever and stuff, we are suggesting and we're building it and we're happening it together. The biggest challenge, which has continuously been the challenge, is very late on the announcements and very late on the posters. And so Bharat's messages right now also is, do we have a speaker? We don't have a poster. We're on Thursday. We don't have a speaker. Let's see if Gaurav can get a poster made. So it's just that same stress of that lateness that is coming together, which is putting a toll on this thing.
If we have context clear,
If
this question,
just to yeah, go on.
Gaurav, 1 minute.
Yeah.
The question is asked by Chaitanya, not by me. Do we have a speaker for this one?
Okay. Oh, this was from him, not from you.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's no question of stressing. Again, we are going haywire. I want your feedback on his message. What do you think happened?
On Chaitanya's message, right?
Yes. Of saying that I'm quitting and you are bulldozing people and nobody's listening. Clear take on that, why he's quitting.
See, the top line for any human, I think it also talks a little bit about him, and maybe he would, we are all landmark forum people also. So anyone to just put their hands up like this, leaving unclosed loops without having an end-to-end communication, without having an end-to-end, it's a little erratic, it's a little childish. I think we should, I would want to like honestly talk to him just generally because he's probably doing it here, but he's probably also doing it many other places. This erratic way of putting your hands up and putting in the work and then leaving it halfway and things like that. So this as a functionality, as a feature, as a way of working is something that I want to more like, kindly or, kind of lovingly show him that, is this normal that you're doing this like, and this happened for the LinkedIn group as well.
Hello.
Olivia, you are going to solutions. I'm asking for your take. What happened?
This is independent of what triggered it or whatever. So irrespective of what Bharat triggered or we triggered or Gaurav triggered or speaker not there, whatever triggered, but just as a way of operation, this way of quitting is something that is a bigger picture that I want to have a discussion with him on. And that's going to be my agenda. It's not going to be justifying Bharat. Oh, is he right? Is he wrong? I'm not going to get into the right and wrongs, okay, of it. Second thing about the communication which is going on, and his idea of this bulldozer thing and stuff like that, right? So I think what is lacking is clear timelines, which was not communicated necessarily. So is he coming with the newsletter in this week? Even I didn't know. We gave him the content, but will the newsletter be released by the end of this week? I don't think we ever said that as a timeline. Yes, we gave content, we gave material, we gave him whatever he wanted, but to put that to give that deadline of the newsletter will be ready for this next week is something that we did not necessarily quantify in any of our leadership meetings. So maybe what he's talking about bulldozing into the pressure of where is the newsletter ready or not, or something like that. Maybe he's getting pressured, like even Gaurav said that he's got other things going on and he's got some other whatever priorities and financial issues or whatever. But irrespective of that, when we set a deadline that, okay, so for example, for speakers, we are saying it will be this week and this will be this one. And that's the deadline which is vocalized and quantified and spoken about. But the deadline that the newsletter will be ready this weekend was not something I think that we, and you can correct me, did we at any time say that the newsletter will be ready for this week or not? We gave him material. He said he will do something and he will come back to us. And then we last 2 weeks, we didn't have a leadership meeting. So,
So can I answer your questions now? Some suggestions there.
Maybe he, from the communication, it looks like he's it's looking like he's expected to deliver the newsletter for that weekend, and he's saying,
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you another question? Have you seen the activity tracker?
First, you think it's correct? What an activity tracker?
I'm asking you a question. Have you seen the activity tracker?
Yes, you showed it in the last meeting.
But after that, you have not seen it. Okay. So you must see it because this was 2 weeks back when we talked. And in that, in the last meeting, you said very clearly, newsletter is Chaitanya's baby.
Bharat, why don't you share it here?
Okay, I do it now.
I will quickly say that again, this thing about the activity tracker that every leader has to check and how often or when and what is not something that was discussed. It was something that it's an activity tracker for the newsletter. And our intention has always been
activity tracker who's doing what and when.
Yeah, but it's only for the newsletter because initially in the leaders meeting, when I said that, okay, all the leaders meeting minutes, we will put it in the activity tracker. We said, no, this activity tracker is only for the newsletter.
No, that's not a fact.
Because we said after the minutes of the leaders meeting, we will not put it in that activity tracker.
Let me give you a few things today. And good that Gaurav joined back and good that Anupama is not here. Because then the discussion can go haywire.
Yes.
Be very focused. Be very focused. First of all, we are deeply hurt. Me and Gaurav are deeply hurt. What I can feel from Gaurav, that he was doing speakers. But what I feel is, when you say Chaitanya brought in new ideas, LinkedIn engagement was my idea since 1.5 years. He tried to pick it up. Okay, we got more traction because there was 2 people talking instead of 1. It was 11, it was 1 and 1, 11. And we got some traction. And then immediately, one day he realized this is not worth it. He quit without giving any reason. And after 10 days, I came to find out that he had quit. Okay. So as you said, of course, this is his personality trait. He'll just leave the group.
His personality trait, yeah.
Mercurial.
Yeah, because then
even before that, he had done the sharing of content. Even before we started this live speakers, he had done, and then he had done engagement, and then he had started a WhatsApp group.
Okay.
And then one day he got upset and he quit. So this is a
Similarly, he was upset. Similarly, he was upset with the speaker issues after 2 months, which I brought to attention of Alifia. Alifia gave her a solution, which he did not respond to. And I stepped up that time, getting the speakers for March. And then I asked everyone, let us, let Chaitanya lead the month focus, and let us bring in the speakers so that it is not too much of weight on him. Okay. Then he comes up with a newsletter idea, and Gaurav shares with him a newsletter, what he thinks is good enough. He said, we don't have bandwidth. And everyone knows, and even in Alifia's last meeting, it was said that Chaitanya is owning the newsletter. He is doing the newsletter. Nowhere I am supposed to do the newsletter. Now, one fine day, he sent me this beehive and says, go through and read it. Nowhere he says to me that you have to do it. Okay, I said, thanks for sharing. That was the end of it. And now he says, did you ever read it, what he has done? How does he know I've read it or not? I've already made an account, but I think it is a big task to understand how to do that. And it is not, I'm already, if I have to improve my working, I have to improve upon meeting gratitude. I am also not able to put my gratitude. So I am struggling to put content which I want to do. I don't have time. And if he has pressures, I think we have bigger pressures. I'm living in Hong Kong, 11 times the cost of India. My family no have jobs. I am working on a small job where I have involved so much. So I should not be working. Everyone in my family tells me, Ankita and Asta tell me all the time, quit everything, focus on money. So, but I'm still here. So, and I feel very hurt when, today also you said 30 seconds. It was not required. You said once before, if I do it wrong, you press a red button or make a system better. You are insulting me in front of 20 people. I felt bad. Okay. Gaurav has stopped doing that. Gaurav was doing it before. And means me and Gaurav chatted. I sent him a message. I want to
now. You're mixing,
no.
like, I understand, I apologize for that, but you're
no,
mixing like
not
context.
so. Let me finish for 5 minutes, because this is what is Chaitanya's challenge now is also our challenge. How to work together as a leader. I was very clear with Alifia. We had a heated discussion, and good that I had the discussion with Alifia. She sent me her side of story, why she's handing it back to Anupama to do the pitch deck. I did not agree with it. And I think that you may try. Anupama will not do it for next 3 months. We have an experience of that, and you have gone on that. So it is wasting Chaitanya's time, jumping in, saying power of 3, power of 2. Let him do, give him the ownership. At one point, you say you have the ownership. Every time someone has ownership, you are the first one to interrupt. Who told you to give him the right for speakers? You should ask Gaurav to tell him that, not you. He's given a suggestion. Gaurav can still get speakers. We both are Toastmasters. We have a big community. We have everyone there. So I think, Alifia, you have to mend your ways there. Number 2, what I find all the time is there are long discussions. Everyone tells me I am doing long discussions. I find the discussion with Mike, who passed away, was very long. If there is if I have to do the pitch deck, I will do it myself. Good or bad, I'll finish it off. But having said that, if you want every expert opinion to come and we have a Kacha Khan, someone will say this and we will shift our focus to that side. That is not, because every culture has a different input. You decide what our culture is, what Gen culture is. And today we had wonderful speaking by Marta on that one. So I am very focused. I am very clear. I had already told everyone I would be leaving on the 31st March. I have continued for another 3 months. But if this things doesn't improve, sorry, I will also have big pressure, because we have to understand we don't have a policy where we communicate properly. Someone says put on Trello, I start putting on Trello. I am the most obedient person. And Chaitanya gave me an instruction like I am his slave. Bharat, can you put it on the Google Drive? Can you do this? Can you do this? I did it. I said, it's available on Trello, the picture. He said, I don't have time. I said, okay, tell me what do you want? He said, put it in a Google Drive file. And on the activity sheet, I have written the Google Drive folder also. And he said, make a Word file, put everyone's, whatever they were given in one file. I've done that also. So if you are thinking that he's a great guy and we are stupid, foolish guys, then you have to, because this is the feeling I get all the time. Because if Anupama and one Toastmaster has given me a very good example of leadership. They say don't push people who are not doing something they can't. Instead, utilize their resources in doing so. So that is what I told Gaurav yesterday. Why are we pushing Anupama? She's so good at gratitude corner. She's a smiling face, she's a lady, and she brings up energy and gratitude. By pushing her into doing something which she has already not done over a period of time, that means we are pushing her off. We are giving her stress. So instead of telling Chaitanya, okay, do one event or do one thing, we should take a call. And here today also you have said it's Gaurav's baby, speaker, and let Gaurav, no, it was about class. Let Gaurav do it. Then why are we here in a team? Let us do our own independent network. Because we need to tell Gaurav that next time you please write on the chat. You can't interrupt people. Put a ringer, make him, mute, whatever. But be very explicit. We found this problem in Anupama settled. And then I said, okay, please let us make a sheet for that. What is a gratitude session? And Anupama said, okay, Bharat, you make. I made the sheet. Now that sheet is there. It highlights properly what has to be done. I did not agree with some things Gaurav did today, but I will have him on separate call because it's minor issues. We can keep on improving. But if it is Gaurav's call, then why is a team there? Then I can't tell Gaurav that you are doing this wrong or how he can improve this. Or you can't tell me. In fact, I want to know. We have 85 signatories. I want every leader to reach out to 15, send a message to them. Okay, you have signed in. Why are you not joining? Okay, that would be helpful. And so with this, my thing is done. I have told you what I feel. You take a call what you want to discuss with Chaitanya. Because at this time, I would feel greatly obliged that we take Anil also on past contributors and let there be no founders, let there be only 4 or 5 active leaders today. So let us not make those differentiations there and let us be very clear what is our goal, are we going to achieve it, or we are going to run 15 minutes a week and we will only talk about this 15 minutes. Chaitanya said, don't put a message on the WhatsApp group. 2 weeks, I did not push a message. And then he asked me, who's the speaker? And I asked him, that question is in that question. You are asking me who's the speaker. Why are you asking me? Who am I? I asked Alifia 2 weeks back, she's talking about in the monthly meeting, what is the plan for this speaker? Nobody have an answer. And we are talking, Anupama will do this. Anupama says 2 people, 3 people. And then the week is gone. Next week, you want to talk about Jen. And again, we have no. So we are not focusing on our current meeting. We are focusing on our deck, which nobody seems to know how to make. It's a simple deck, anyone can. It will have errors. Whoever makes, I will point 20 errors in that. Or you can even point 20 errors. Every time you look at it, second time you will find improvement. But that doesn't mean it has to go. So with this, keep a deadline of time. We cannot go on Gen Titans endlessly. If you want to do it endlessly, I am not part of it. I will keep working till 30th June, creating events, inviting people. If the meeting quality is not good, if we cannot convert people like Andrew who has come or to the Gen platform, then that means we are something is wrong. All my efforts are waste. And I don't want to waste my bandwidth and time on unnecessary things.
So firstly, Bharat, can I speak now? Great.
I
By
keep
the way, I
quiet
didn't
now.
know
I'll
you're
keep
leaving
quiet.
from March. I didn't know. This is the first time I'm hearing you're leaving after March or you're leaving in 3 months. I didn't hear of this before.
So you are not in the meetings regularly. That means it was communicated in leaders meeting thrice, or you're not listening to me then.
So you're there only till March. You're only now till 3 months, June. Then?
I don't know, because you have to improve if you want me to stay. Simple as that. Someone has to improve. The whole group has to improve. If we are wasting time of each other, I'm ready to quit today itself. If we have no solution,
we
there is
need
no...
to review where we are and where we want to go and how
Yes.
we are going to do it. And actually, I think I have been advised by a whole lot of people saying, तुम 5 साल से क्या कर रहे हो? Just अपना video बनाते हो, invitation भेजते हो. What are you achieving? So
even
yeah,
our
it's
video
an
quality, our YouTube quality is not
question.
good. And I have written on the activity tracker says the meeting minutes of 3 months says Alifia will improve the YouTube. It's still there, the same. So we are expecting people to perform and we are not performing. So there is some challenge. And to me, what I feel is if 6 of us who are so qualified cannot run Gen, then how can we guide people to run their businesses? And then better not make a mockery of ourselves and just go ahead and think about other things in life. I had also suggested in one of my posts somewhere that let us do maybe 1 meeting a month, maybe 2 meetings a month if it is too much for us. But whatever we do, we must improve our quality. If we don't improve quality, if we don't have time to even think who is going to attend the meeting, someone will say in the morning, I'm not coming today. Alupama will say, Alivia will say, today I have to go somewhere. And there's no replacement there. If all of us say that day, then why have invited 85 people there? I will lose face there. Please go on.
So
I'm
I
listening.
tied up with this girl, Marta, and as soon as I put my phone down, I put up a video. And I was expecting at least our leaders to say yes or some comment, but nothing. So,
Gaurav, I told you,
cohesive.
my reason was very clear. On Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm super busy. Friday, I'm working in a different center. I have only 1 day at that center. And Friday, means 9 to 11 in the morning is my personal mental health classes. So I go very far. I start at 7 o'clock in the house.
Okay.
So Friday,
Bharat, we've had a lot of feedback from you. Let us process it. Now, just mute yourself for 10 minutes. Let Alifia speak.
Muted.
So, I think it's good feedback. It's we can see a lot of frustration. And I think it's probably coming from because there's a lot of work getting done. And then there is no, the returns are expected. And this is normal, right? Like because we put in that hard work and effort and stuff. So one thing definitely, obviously, we appreciate when we don't mean that we only appreciate Chaitanya. We also always have appreciated Bharat, what you put in and the alignment that you bring and the follow-ups and the this thing that we achieve from everyone, and you keep all of us aligned. So we definitely acknowledge and value that a lot as well. So definitely it's not like just because we're saying Chaitanya has put 1, 2, 3 efforts. I'm not saying Gaurav's not put efforts or you've not put efforts or whatever. We're just talking because, okay, of course, because he's at this page where he's put he's left and things like that. So we're just saying that, okay, it was a valuable partnership that we had in the leadership. So it's not like tomorrow if you are saying you're going to go, it's going to hurt us also, right? So we're going to say, of course, God Bharat also did so much, and that we always say, so in every meeting we acknowledge the work and effort that's done in by every leader. So if it's about that acknowledgement, please don't have that in your mind. And I think you know it very well that we really, really do value and cherish everything that you do and bring. About our meeting qualities, not good, and about this idea of reducing the number of meetings, I think the world has got used to meeting every Saturday, and we are all now accustomed. And if someone's attending or not attending, we are pretty flexible and we easily pick up the pieces from each other. I think we have that much accountability between us leaders. Like at least for me, I always tell Gaurav, I always tell this thing. There are some people who are not contributing in the weekly meeting at all. They're contributing behind the scenes. For example, Sabri, Chaitanya, these guys are not necessarily contributing in the meeting. There are people like Anupama, Gaurav, me, who are actively contributing inside every meeting. You're always there. We appreciate that as well. Because obviously you're creating the momentum of the LinkedIn and stuff. So you're also contributing in the meeting. So it's important that 4 of us are at least there inside every meeting. And if any of us is not there, then we talk to each other and we say, take over my path. And that's what it is. So technically, I think the meeting coordination for every week is not a problem. Everyone's got used to this thing. Our idea of having existed for 4 years and what are we doing and the embarrassment around that is what I want to go deeper. So what would you do different? So what are the expectations? What are the 1, 2 things that you think the platform should have done after existing for 4 years? And I want to ask this to Gaurav. So if you're feeling embarrassed, Gaurav, as a part of the founding team, for me, being existing for 4 years, we've created whatever 2,000-3,000 people. Today, with Bharat's contribution, we've created 1,000+ on LinkedIn, and we are growing the network. And eventually, it always works like that, right? That the first year is less and stuff, but then we build the momentum and we build this thing. And what we could do more of is what we need to be talking about. But it does not mean that we have not done. It's just unfortunate that we haven't necessarily recorded all the things. That's why we forget all the things that we have achieved in the last 4 years. So we've had a lot of accomplishments in the last 4 years. We've had a lot of speakers. We've had a lot of good things done in the past 3-4 years. It's just that unfortunately we are very bad at recording our victories. So if anyone tells me that what the hell are we doing and what's this thing, we are technically on a mission to connect the world. We are currently in 3 continents, I think. India, Middle East, and Asia. So we've connected 3 continents really fairly well. We have people like Shelly, Bharat being from, whatever. And then, so we have these 3 continents pretty much engaged actively. Today we had Australia come in. So technically we've had over time people coming from different places and stuff like that, right? So, and this is what we are bringing to the table. So, and what we want to do more is to create. So, yeah, so let me ask you this question. So what are you embarrassed about? Like, what do you think is not, what makes you gets embarrassed that we are here for 4 years and we have not accomplished anything? So Gaurav, can you tell me a little bit about that? Because what is the top 2 things you think we should have done by now?
I've been networking for a long time, and my wife asks me very often, saying, networking तो ठीक है, तुम इतना time बिता रहे हो, मीट करते हो, एक्सचेंज करते हो, फिर वापस कॉफी मीटिंग करते हो, पैसे बताओ कितने बनाए? So that is my Achilles heel, saying टाइम तो लगा रहा हूं, नेटवर्क बना रहा हूं, but पैसे कहाँ हैं? And how do we quantify that? And should we, or we just kind of do this gathering of good souls every Saturday morning?
So the bottom line is what it's coming as, paise, it's coming to the money. That's why you're saying this platform is useless for you as such, right?
I'm just saying, like, it's a question that comes to my mind as well. And some people have said, look, maybe you should spend your time better, like do something more productive, tangible.
Okay, great. Okay, I want to even ask this to Bharat, but like, Bharat, please don't take more than 30 seconds to 40 seconds. What do you think is missed out, and what do you think the platform should have done better in the last 4 years after being existing? What is that?
I think we are doing good. I have got so much, I have so much learning from it. I met so much people, and what today Marta said was very important, that we can get market insights which we cannot get from anywhere. So we have the platform is good, and even if anyone asks me, I'm getting value for money, for sure. Only thing is, I can get value from money by going to any other platform. Then why I need to do hard work for it?
Got it. So, okay, got it. Fantastic. So the platform is good. So it's 2 versus 3 right now. Because for me also, you know Gaurav already, I launched certain programs and they were fully filled from Gen, like EC Connect at that time, right? So I've had programs launched and I've had fully this thing done, leverage out of this platform and the connections I made from you. So I have also made money for sure. So it's about your offering, your product price mix or whatever you're offering, and that's what it is. So it's not every platform is not for every business style or a business this thing. If people don't have a scalable, Shelly has made money. She comes from Bangkok. I've paid her and I've joined with her. I have given Madhvi. So many people have got business from each other from the platform. So if your product mix and your price mix is not ideal, like Bharat is saying, he's benefited as well from the platform. So just that I understand that Bharat is putting in a lot of effort and he's not getting, he can get money from other platforms as well, but he's putting in an effort. So this is a different concept where a leadership team is putting in effort and you're not getting the return. That's kind of a thing, right? So as a leadership team to put in the effort and get the result is what we are at, right? Is that a question on everybody's mind now? Am I, concluding? So
what would be a better option is, do we have it's not about money going into our pocket, but do we have something to prove tomorrow that this is a scalable thing which we have done, which will automatically run if we are not there for 2 months? If, I asked this question before also. Then if Harihara has left, whatever efforts he put was all zero today for him. Or if Chaitanya leaves today, whatever time he has spent is all zero for him. So how are we giving value to these people who are putting money, and why will other people come for?
See, networking platforms, honestly, how it's very clear that, that post that Chaitanya had put, this is my perspective, I could be right or wrong. Networking platforms is a place where you build friendships, you build connections. In our world of selling, people buy from people. People don't buy products and services. They buy from people. So it's the value of the network that is bringing your net worth, right? So the question we should be talking is, are we meeting the right kind of people from our networking platform? So our drive and our goal should be constantly to get people that it's worth spending your time with on our meetings. So your network will be your net worth. So a lot of things will translate from here. So our main motive and intention should be to bring the right kind of people in the meeting, which should be worth it for people to spend their time on. So as leaders who are putting in effort, you're in the visibility, of course. And as attendees of the platform, it's about bringing that varied network to them that can be worth their time and their effort to come for this platform.
Right. So basically, if I can just rephrase it, value proposition. Our value proposition needs to be clear. Come to Jen and you will get this. Or even for the leaders, be part of the leadership team and get this. And if you are not getting it, I think we should not sleep over it for too long.
Yeah.
Like
So I think the value proposition.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've been part of a community group for 27 years. And this year, my wife and I decided that we'll take a break. So, like earlier, last year, I would have said, no, 27 years, this, that, the other. I was president, I was this, I was that. And we meet the kids benefit. Now the kids are also on their own trip. So I'm taking a break for a year.
Good. So I think the value proposition, I think, for the attendees is very clear, where we are giving them access to more than one region. So the ideal attendee, the ideal target avatar of their target audience, and I don't know why I'm answering, but ideally you guys can also be answering about what is the value proposition for our attendees, and we can list the 2-3 things, right? So ideally, I think what I'm thinking is this platform is giving them access to out of their region. And only if their product is scalable to that level where you can go to get business from outside the region. For example,
Just 1 second.
I'm connecting with Andrew Tao.
Hello.
And he's not even in this
Hello.
region. But
Yeah.
he's going to get a customer from Bharat, from Martha, from Sydney, from this. So technically, if you get more and more different geographies, it becomes a very, very valuable value proposition for the attendees. Is there anything else to add for the attendees? What's the good value proposition? This is what I think. That's why I say gateway to global business. It is your access to global.
Let us not go and talk about attendees. We have already spoken this too many times. Let us not diverge from what we were discussing. We are discussing today the value to the leaders.
That's
Any
the second
network.
point.
No, that is the first point. That is the only point we have to discuss, because all network platforms have value to the attendees, some to more extent, some to less extent. Gen has it or not has it. It will keep on changing because we will have more leaders coming in. But are we going in perpetuity? So that is why when you ask me now, if I need to answer, I need to answer again. If you repeat again, I'll repeat again. If you want me,
so let's talk about.
I'll keep quiet and
got
just.
it. Bharat got it. So attendees, we already know, it's very clear. So at least the reason for the organization to exist is big because it's for the attendees, and attendees have 100% value. Of course, some attendees like Gaurav don't have a value proposition or what will work as a monetization tool for yourself, because normally networking platform cannot make money for you. You need to have your own products that you take as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and you make money from that. So for an attendee, there is a very clear value proposition. Okay. Now for leaders, what can be the value proposition? Let's dwell more on that. So what I want to now go back to see is what's the value proposition for a leader who's on a BNI platform or who's becoming the Toastmaster leadership team, which is again a not-for-profit. They don't get paid anything. But why do those people take those leadership positions, and what's the value proposition from BNI or Toastmasters or any of the other platforms? Because everything is a servant leadership model. There is no payment for any of the leaders. So what is that versus this? So what's the value proposition? What's in it for you? So what are you expecting is what I want to know. So Gaurav, if you were on the leadership for Gen and you've been a founder for so many years, what is your drive to keep coming or to keep doing the part in it?
Well, for me, it is, we started it together and there was a expectation that we would scale up and we would be a kind of BNI, which will enable people to grow and for us to get grow our businesses and our stature as community leaders. So some parts of it have been accomplished. However, I think we need to rethink on a couple of things, including the frequency. What mix we have of online and what mix we have of in-person. Like, for example, in Hong Kong, can we have 10 people meeting every other Saturday? And similarly in Dubai, and similarly in Kuala Lumpur, or in Delhi, or in Mumbai. And it's an interesting thing what Bharat said.
So
we
Gaurav,
are
Gaurav,
slogging.
1 second, Gaurav.
Yeah.
No, Gaurav, 1 second. This again, you are going as a value proposition for the attendees. Because adding online, adding in person, we are now going back to thinking about attendees, right? But as a leader.
What I'm saying is, Alithia, what we are discussing is we are a community platform, but that is charity. We are talking now as a board member of a company. Gen is a company. How does Gen make money? If Gen is not making money, then we are just delusional, delulu.
So technically, initially, okay. So Gen making money. So basically, it's scale up, whatever, but with the money with the money this thing. So it has to be profitable and it has to make money as a
Monetizable.
company.
Yes.
Monetizable. And what's the kind of money you're looking for?
No,
So there's two
I'm
ways of
saying
money for company. Yeah, okay.
Jen should make at least in the first year. Now going from now, today is 26th April. 26th April 2026 tak 100,000 dirhams Jen should be able to generate and then grow. Varna 10 years down the line also we'll say, yeah, someday we will make money.
So see, this is the disconnect because if you're looking at a number like 100K in a year, there has never been any business plan which has ever been put in place with this kind of a quantified number.
Yeah. So now I'm
So
saying
this is in your brain.
Yeah.
No, but this is in your brain, in your heart, and this has never vocalized and come out because technically when we started 4 years back, Gen was supposed to be a not-for-profit organization. It was mainly supposed to be where people monetize by their own products and their own businesses. And it was supposed to be that we will make money to run the cost of the platform and maybe save a little bit for time for whatever and have some resources to drive it and run it. So technically to make it as a company, which is a profitable company as such, making 100K a year was not ever a plan of business that was ever put together.
No, but here, sorry to interrupt, Alifia. Bharat has been on our case for 2 years, saying, why should I be a leader if I'm getting nothing but promoting my business, which I will promote my business through BNI also. Here I am a leader, I should get some return. Tomorrow, if I step off, I should be able to get a return.
So today, Bharat is a leader on the Toastmaster of the Founders Club, for example. How much does he get paid? He's doing a lot of work for that also, right? So you're getting founders together, you're getting speakers, you're arranging all that stuff. But do you get paid as a president of the club or this thing?
Okay.
Which
Let me answer
networking
this.
platform?
Let me answer this one. Toastmaster has a structure. There's an organization behind it. The leaders may change. There may be bad leaders, good leaders. 1 year, something good may happen, some bad may happen. My focus in Toastmaster is to stay positive. I'm working with a very difficult leader right now. And I have made a mark in this year. We have oversold our conference. And we are giving value to all the attendees. That is my job. Nothing else. My job is they should reach there properly. They should know what food to eat. And I'm not care what keynote speaker is there, what is what. So I'm a PR manager. My PR is done fine. In the process of those 300 people, everyone knows me personally. Many people have helped me work. My current job in NAC is because of Toastmasters. I did a very big event yesterday, non-Toastmaster event at the same venue. So I've got a free venue.
Got it. So the conclusion, what I can derive from this is that the
give me
platform does
15 seconds more on this one.
Okay.
As a leader,
I got your point.
No, one point is missing here. 15 seconds here. I got paid tickets to go to Chongshan. I got paid travel. Leaders in Toastmaster go to US on paid tickets. The trio goes there. So do we have the money to bring me to Dubai?
Okay, got it. Point taken, Bharat, point taken, okay? Got it, okay? So concluding is that the platform does not pay anything. It's the connections and the network that you build from the connections that you meet in that platform that pays for the next job opportunity, the next business opportunity, the next event opportunity, whatever, right? So technically, this is what it concludes to. Okay, so
no, it doesn't conclude to that. It does not conclude to that. I told you again. What is the difference between?
Pause for a minute.
Yes.
I have another call in 1 minute. So let's conclude this and say, let's reconvene. So it's a good idea, Bharat, Alifia, that we are discussing this, because sometimes, everything
Gaurav, let me take
happens at the
over
right
again.
time.
I get your point. Okay. So see, the point I'm trying to make is there is a mismatch, and I'll tell you why there is so much of discomfort now. What I'm understanding is because the expectations of different people is different, and we are not on the same page at all. So let me quickly ask what you answered already, Gaurav, to Bharat, that what's your expectation? See, I want to conclude again. So whatever you said about the Toastmaster, the return, okay, there's one ticket, one off, okay, but that I've done so many Toastmaster this thing, we never get paid for any tickets and all that. It's okay, fine, it must be an exceptional thing. So let's not take an exceptional thing. It's not that every leader always gets air tickets and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm talking about an annual return from a platform by being in the leadership, whatever position, right? So we need to be aligned in terms of what's your value proposition for leader that you are expecting as a person. So, Bharat, if you want to answer that in like really 30 seconds.
Let's let Gaurav go first.
Gaurav already answered, my dear. He said scale up and money 100,000 dirhams.
He said, I am going in 1 minute. I have a call. Do you want me to sum up in 1 minute? My expectation is very clear. I get stretcher out of it like I get in Toastmaster.
Correct. So that you got?
Huh?
Jen? You're getting that from Jen, the teacher?
No, because it's not getting there. We have people coming in. Our structure is not clear. We are not able to invest in research and development of how we can take it to the next way. We have a mission statement now, but we don't know how to go there because we don't have the money to do that.
We are bootstrapped.
So now you're talking about money for growing the platform, right? As a leader, what's your value
This was
proposition?
always the case. And when we said 100 during Haryana's time also, 60% to grow the money and 40% would be to run some, like I have a secretary working for me. That time is, I need that money.
Right. Fantastic. So this is exactly what we've been doing for 4 years, because the money generation was never like 100,000 to get money into the leaders' pockets or anything like that. It was always about growing the platform and making it like, kind of whatever, not getting cost paid from our pocket kind of a thing. So that was always the case.
And Alifia, once again, 100,000 was always in the picture. 5 years down the line, we can sell this platform for 100,000. This was
That's
always
when we sell
said.
the platform, yes. Because that's what I was about to say, because there is 2 ways of running this thing.
So,
but anyway, since we
have we got the
go,
value today? Can we sell it off for 100,000 today?
We haven't even pitched right now, Bharat.
So can we try to sell it?
You're leaving in June, right?
So I want my money before I go.
Alifia, make an IPO plan for us.
Yeah, I want to go before I want to get my money and go from here.
Okay, anything to conclude? We can close this call now.
No, I want to talk to you, Alifia. If Gaurav has to go, let him go. If you have half an hour for me, let us discuss something.
Okay, just brief me afterwards. See ya.
Okay. Alifia, make notes, please. Or start a recorder. I will start the recorder if you want.
Yeah.
Let me see if it works now.
It will record on your computer?
No, it will. It is a tool.
Stage, please, stage.
Sanjay buddy, I'm in a meeting still. मैं free होते ही आपको phone करूँ.
Okay, sir.
I mean, you host.
हाँ, मेरे को लगेगा आधा घंटा. JL is wanting to enter. Do you want to entertain her?
Who's JL?
The same person who was in the meeting today.
No, meeting's over now. We cannot continue the whole day, yeah?
Okay.
I've got a meeting.
Let me take out participant, copy invite link and put it on the file come. If it works, it works. This is a tool given to me by Nand Kumar. Okay, I'll give you an example now. Nand Kumar is attending 15 networking platforms. in the US, in the Australia, and I have been approached by multiple. I have not attended. The thing is, networking platforms have their value. You need to build trust. You have to be there. Okay. And I would be one of the few people in our group who has already paid. I must have paid at least 2 to 3 lakh rupees getting work done from people. I don't know how many would boast that one. So this is me. Fathom is me.
Okay.
Okay. So the immediate thing to look at is, I don't want to leave in June. It is just a figurative statement that I need to review every 3 months. My health is not so good. Maybe after 3 months, I am not there. Health-wise. And I'm already 64, 63 and a half. So I have to retire somewhere. So what do you want? Instead of you asking me what I expect from Jen, what does Jen expect from me? On BYOB, Sachin Acharya's platform, he's charging money for everyone to come and speak. There could have been revenue. People like Marta would like to come and speak. That can only happen when our audience is educated enough to meet that, because these were very high audience. You could have charged money for this, but we are not able to charge. If we have someone today making notes and putting these bullet points, even Martha, who was she? She was at our platform. And then Lipika, she has done something at House of Lords, she has spoken. So these are very valuable people. Lipika is the only speaker who came to me, Bharat, I want a briefing one day before I speak. What type of audience I want to talk to? What you are expecting of me? Not many people do that. Toastmasters, you ask me, I went to India, I attended a conference for 300 people. All of a sudden, 300.
Can we conclude in terms of what are the 1-2 things that we want out of this discussion that we are doing now?
You have to tell. You have to tell. We have told you so many things. We are looking for your answers. What are you looking for? If you are looking for 15-minute time and running an unprofessional get-together of meeting, so let Gaurav do what he says, Soul of Friends or something like that, which is not a professional networking platform. Then why are we delusioned? Why do we need to open a LinkedIn account? And why should we do this much? We come whenever we
not
want.
do this much?
Yeah, why should we do this much? Why should we even dream to have a pitch where we are selling for $500? What are we going to achieve with that $500? People like
Bharat,
Neeta Sobhani.
Honestly, I think if it is a lot of, I'm not sure. So technically, there is some concept called as a selfless servant leadership normally. And anyway, and of course, it should not be for free. It should not be for something that you're not getting back in return. So technically, the platform is where we are creating and building with a certain mission and a certain vision that we can connect people overseas. And the best platform to reach out is through LinkedIn. And with our expertise of leaders that we have, not expecting, revenue returns for ourselves, because the main goal and the main intention will always be that you got to find your own product that you can sell to this network that you bring. And the main intention and the main bottom line goal is to bring the right people into the room, which is going to make it worth your time. That's the entire bottom line of this entire platform that we have created. Okay. Now, to make that happen, there is 3 elements. One is marketing through LinkedIn, which is what you're doing, which is your baby and your core, and this is what you're basically doing. Second element is the speakers. How can you make it more engaging, educating? How can we get the right people in the room so that your job of spreading the word happens well? This is supposed to be driven by Gaurav. Okay, so there's a certain So in order to run a platform, you need certain things, right? Firstly, that you need to be bringing value. Secondly, that you should be spreading the word. So one, bringing value is currently happening online, purely online. I know we keep getting this thing about online, offline, how many times, this, that, whatever. So speaking and all that stuff is supposed to be happening by Gaurav. Promoting and spreading it to this thing is happening by you. So technically, this is the fundamental and the foundation of the platform, which has been ongoing for the last 4 years. And it's working fine. So if you continue doing what you're doing, which is very, very valuable, if I've not said that before, please hear it out, that it's extremely powerful and very valuable, that you're spreading that word on LinkedIn. That's good. If Gaurav can continue doing his speaker thing and this thing, then that's fine. So this is it. For me, I'm adding the referrals and stuff, and I'm doing my little part to do that, sharing of that, whatever. And that's happening as well. Now, further elements, 2 elements that we thought of to further scale and grow this is to make a paid this thing as an upgrade, as an upsell, for which we still not got a pitch deck ready, and it is still going on, which was given to Anupama to do.
I'm listening.
A little thing here and there, which helps to build a little bit of a new momentum and brings a new fresh wind of whatever, which creates a little bit extra momentum, and it helps all of us achieve whatever we want to do. It helps Gaurav to get the speakers with a little theme, which is a good addition. It helps you to further go and make it more valuable, because just spreading things without having a theme or whatever it's easier to do it with a little bit extra theme. So there's a little bit of small nuggets of additions that is coming from different team members, and that's what the platform is currently. So without pushing too much pressure on anyone, because that's our value system, we don't want to have anyone. So if you think at any point that you're getting extremely overworked, or if you're getting that feeling that you're doing more than the others or whatever, then our recommendation would be you can tone down. You don't need to necessarily take it at the health cost or at the cost of your family or the cost of your corporate work or whatever. You can easily tone down, no problem. Or ideally, we want to make it automated. And Sabri has been consistently giving us the content that we want. So there is a small part that every leader is doing. And if each leader focuses and does his own part properly, this is the fundamental of this platform.
Okay. So I've listened to you. I've understood what you want. I will not be attending meetings in future. I will be doing the event. I will, like Sabri, I will just spend half an hour every week and do whatever I can. And that's it for that matter. Because it's very difficult to explain what you have said. And I think you're very adamant on service leadership does not mean service leadership. I have been the biggest volunteer for everyone. Call me for anything, I am there. You ask people in Hong Kong, I do service a lot of places without expecting anything. And I don't expect it at Jen also. But that is once a month. That is 1 hour. That is not a regular basis. If I have to be involved on a regular basis, I do not think it is worth it. I will better serve some poor elderly, just taking them to the hospital. There are a lot of things I can do. And I don't want this kind of places where you spoke for 5-7 minutes.
Just on this point, because Bharat, I'll tell you, because you keep hopping to other points and then I forget, I cannot respond to any point then. Because you're going to other points. So at this particular point, when you're saying it's not worth your time and you're coming every week, so 2 things to it. One is what you're doing on LinkedIn, spreading the word. That's the one job that we are doing. But coming in the meeting is for your own self. It's to get the connections, to get networking. You're basically coming to a networking platform.
Okay. I have other better networking platforms to go. Here I am paying money, not receiving money. I have not got one client in 4 years. My offering may be not good for this platform. That is why I need to stop coming here.
Okay. Then that's a decision you take. That's fine.
Yes, that is my decision. I'm not asking you. You ask my question. I'm coming here to show my commitment, to show my support, to give all the user. I have. If you find your reference sheet, I would be the number one on giving references. I have called people up and given them reference. People like Amit Chawla, people like, so there is great value I'm giving to the platform. Which if the platform thinks that I'm attending only as a networking platform, very sorry, take care. Then it is
I think
platforms
if anyone
win or
does
not.
not find the value in attending every meeting, by all means, I think it's only fair that you don't need to
Perfect.
attend.
I will not be attending at least. Yeah, I will not be attending at least next 4 meetings for sure. And I will not be participating in a leader meeting also temporarily till I find that there is, because I will be reading the meeting notes, there is some call for action which wants me to be there. There is no call for action for me today. I'm doing my LinkedIn platform. No leader is supporting me on my LinkedIn. Even if I was, last minute they gave me something and I did the event, not even one comment if I was not in the meeting. So it is, if I'm putting effort and no leader is even listening, so I think they don't value it. It's just very simple. You see how many people have put the value there today, or how many people you have invited this week. So if you are not able to invite, that means you don't find value. I do not want to read into things and other particular issues, but I am very, very focused. I'm doing great value to the network, and the network is failing me at this point. That is why I'm telling again and again, I want to give service leadership, but not at the cost of my blood pressure, not at the cost of my own personal time, which I don't want. So I will take a break for 4 weeks. I will not attend 4 meetings now. I will read all the things. If things fall in shape, because I have no role. I have no role to do the pitch deck. I have no role to do the newsletter. I have no role to do a speaker. My role is creating an event, inviting 100, 400, 500 people, writing some post on it. I will do. Okay, and then we'll take it from there. Let's see after 4 weeks or 6 weeks, if you still think that network had value from me or no value from me, that is your choice. Because if Sabri does not come to the meeting, or if Chaitanya does not come to the meeting, he is doing disservice. I have made it a point before. How can you contribute without knowing the audience? Yeah. You should attend it. I have already said all leaders should be attending 1 meeting a month. If they don't attend, that means they are not serious.
Yes.
Doing
so
a poster is...
To conclude this one, if you think it's not worth your time to attend every week, if you think it's only worth it to attend once a month or twice a month, you're welcome to do that as well. So you can do work in the background if you like, no worries. And we will value that
clear, I'm taking a 6 weeks break. Yeah, I'm taking a 6 weeks break. I will meet you after 6 weeks.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay. I will keep doing. Once I see on the leaders group there is a poster, I will make the event. If it is on the last minute, like today, early morning, before going to hospital, I had to get up, I had to put things.
It's okay. You don't need to go out of your way, because if it's not done on time, it's not done on time. So it's okay. Like I've always said, we use a common poster. That's it. It doesn't need to stop from marketing. Just use, I cannot be more simplified because I make everything easy. I don't want to do
I did that.
I don't want to do anything.
I did that, but Gaurav called me and please change this, link tree also, everything was changed again today.
So we can always just tell him that, sorry, too late. We'll have to run with whatever it is. And
so I am telling you today, if I get the poster by Tuesday, I can put it up on, or otherwise the generic poster
so
will be
rigid
there.
With your stuff, and that's it. That's it. That's how
I'm
it works.
rigid now. I'm clearly rigid. I'm clearly rigid.
You see, if it's not ready by now, it will not come. That's fine. So it's fine. So it's all right. No need to go out of the way.
Let us not get into disarguments. Let us leave with a healthy and smiling note, because this
No, because I
was
don't want this.
essentially.
It's reflecting and it's coming out on everybody else, and it's coming out as stress to everybody else. Because if you have more expectations, I'm sorry, this is what the platform is about.
I
Unless
have no
someone else wants to
expectations, but
become the
everyone
president,
has
I'm more than
expectations.
happy to drop out. I mean, I'm okay. I can continue to be a normal leader, and you can continue. Someone else is happy to take it. I don't mind. I will back out, and we can let someone
No
else. Anyway,
problem.
I'm
This is
not
up
even
to you.
promoting rooftop sales.
You
I'm
know,
just
this
coming
is
here because it's something we created and we built. And I definitely have conviction that this is a perfect platform with a perfect niche. If we
wonderful.
continue doing what we are doing, it will over time build. And if we can launch Titans rightly, because in the last 2 times that we launched Titans, it was not making money and not a single person bought it.
So I have no role in that. So the leaders in charge should be, I mean, I have already told this many times. Our leadership mix has to improve. We have to have a rule to get leaders in, and everything costs money. If we don't have money, then we can't do. I mean,
Well,
why
I'll tell you
can't we have a
honestly,
why can't we have a brainstorming session in another country where all the leaders meet for 2 days for in once a year? If we are talking about that, if
I've been
you see,
personally investing money on this platform for the last 2 years.
so everyone
And
is
we've
there.
never asked anyone for anything on it. And I don't even mention it. I can, if I want. But I'm not going and claiming and saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I need it back
So
and stuff
Chaitanya
like that.
had
We're
given
not
a
saying
very
anything.
good idea. Chaitanya had, given a very good idea that why don't we monetize our time and keep a record of that monetization. I made a Google sheet out of it. Nobody entered that because we don't understand the concept. I asked again and again one question to you. If we can't bring value to Jen, how can we bring value to our members? Is it right to have a Gen Titan not launch for 18 months or more? Is this a professional thing? That is my question. So my question is for me to give service leadership. I am ready to give free service leadership, but not at the cost where we are getting into last minute things. And if you say, my president says that everyone looks after their role and there's no responsibility. If there's nobody taking a role, and then, okay.
Bharat, I'll tell you one thing. Let me tell you something right now, okay? Even if Gen Titan flies, even if we have 5 people who are going to pay petty money, $300, it's just going to take 4 extra hours from every leader every month. It's not even worth it. To be very honest, to do that upsell and with this plan that Chaitanya's put together, are you crazy? I mean, we will be putting more time and then those guys will be unhappy. And whatever, because if you're not giving the exact clarity of what value exactly are you giving, because right now it's over bloody
You're
committed.
right, very right. So that
It's
is
over
what I'm
committed
saying.
and it's completely baseless currently.
Chaitanya is shouting on top of his voice and he is giving a proposition. And then, I wanted to give him business 6 months back, but I did not. Because he was one who was complaining all the Haryana ko ye bola, usko ye bola. We want positivity. We don't want negativity. And I'm getting a negative feeling because what I told you, we are jumping from one to other. It's not about me.
I don't even think we should have Titans, to be very honest, if you ask me. The right thing to have is just good events where people come, pay, and go, and we make whatever money from it. And then we just have good sponsors who we put their logos on this thing, and that's it, because it cannot take more time now. With Gen Titan,
Yes,
you're
because
committing to something.
getting money from SMEs is very difficult.
No, but even to deliver on that, because it's not going to be worth the time. In $300, what 6 leaders are going to make money, man?
Nobody.
And for that, all of us will give time. How? It's not even worth it. So please, if Gen Titans is not even taken till now, it's a lucky thing for all of us, to be honest.
Wonderful.
It's a flop,
Wonderful.
this thing. It's honestly a flop initiative. But
So
just because
what
everybody keeps saying money, 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 I said, okay, fine, launch it. Come on. I'll give my
Alicia, I
time, no
have a
problem.
conference in 3 weeks, which I am a big part of. And it's not that I don't want to come in every meeting, but it is taking a toll on me. Let me take a break for 6 weeks. I'll come back again, and I will keep on posting. And you can write on the group if they give me the posters by Tuesday. Otherwise, I will always make on Saturday. I make a Saturday poster, and I invite everyone. So I will do that, and I'll create a. If I get a theme, I'll post. Otherwise, I'll post a regular thing. But I will take a break for a few weeks, and then I have to focus on something. Okay. But good news, I told you already, Ankita has already got a job, and Angela, I mean, we are into process of reorganizing some things here, So we have one, it's not a job only. For me, it's also income because she has left my house. And I have a room to, 1 minute, let me close. Yeah, I have a room to rent.
Okay, I need to go, Bharat. I have a million things on my table.
And the room is not cheap. Okay. So thank you, Olivia, for listening to me. And let's see. Discuss with Gaurav.
But I just want to tell you,
Bharat,
do as much as you can. It's not about overkilling anyone. This is what it is. This is going to be the only return that comes. And
that is
you justify yourself.
My question was, the first question I asked you today morning, am I bulldozing? If I am bulldozing, because I am me. I cannot be Olivia. I cannot be Chaitanya. I am me. I will be my aggressive self. I have not changed 63 years of my life. I can't change now.
And nobody can. Even if it is just 30 years of our life, we also cannot change. Yeah. So it's okay. Everyone is.
So that is what I'm saying.
And it's about using strengths rather than making people change. If I'm not a WhatsApp person, I'm not a WhatsApp person. So you cannot just overnight change.
Did I push you to be a WhatsApp person?
Yeah.
Did I push you to be a WhatsApp person? Did I push you to be a WhatsApp person?
You can try, but you're just going to get more frustrated, right?
Did I? Why should I? I did not. Did I tell Chaitanya to come and take from wherever, Trello or what? I just followed what he said.
Yeah.
Because
okay, let's process. But just calm down. Don't take stress and don't take pressure. Have less expectations. When you have less expectations, automatically life is good. It's a bad thing to say, but come on, don't get too stressed over this.
Again, I go to my mental health coach every Friday for 2 hours, and she's very good. And one thing I can tell you, the perception you are having is I have too many expectations. I do not have expectations. I'm giving selflessly. I'm trying to understand if that selfless giving is worth it or not. Simple as that.
And if it is not, I give you full freedom to take your path further.
We have already decided.
We will always value this, all that. Please, just take your this thing.
No, 6 weeks I'm taking a break.
Nothing is a lifelong thing. Yeah.
6 weeks I'm taking a break. And if there's something valuable which changes, I'll try and help wherever I can. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Call me up anytime you need anything. Simple.
Okay.